So, Nick, we're going to talk about ethics in screenwriting.
Oh, great.
Now, in the last half hour or so, I've subjected you to a very small percentage of Mr. Max Landis's YouTube presence. He has hundreds of videos. Many of them are closer to 2 hours than 10 minutes.
Oh, no.
Most of them are short, of course, but holy shit, he's made a lot of content. He's written a few movies. You've seen a little, like a crumb, a pimple on the asshole of humanity, if you will, of Max's work. What's your take from what you've seen thus far?
He is the most undeserving of a career in Hollywood compared to any other person I've ever seen.
Yeah.
I mean, he's the worst Nepo baby.
Oh, definitely. I've had this take since I learned who he was, like a decade ago or more. You mentioned something kind of interesting right before we started recording. You said something about his parents.
Well, I say a lot about one of his parents.
Yeah. You mentioned when you were talking about how he sucks, you said he gives off an energy like a kid who was very bad, and the parents just said, you know, whatever.
Yeah, they didn't really parent him. They just kind of gave him the keys to the castle and said, we have fuck around money. We're not going to really raise you. I mean, we'll be in your life. But he seems like a real, like a Nick Reiner type.
Sure. You might expect similar outcomes in terms of like, this is an unpredictable, kind of scary vibe I get from this person. Like they could do something wild.
Mm-hmm.
Now, would you believe me if I told you that his parents, director John Landis of Blues Brothers fame, that guy and his mom, who's a costume designer, who her most famous thing is she invented the look of Indiana Jones, Hollywood power couple, I guess, of the 80s. What if I told you that they were extremely troubled by Max when he was young and they sent him away at least once to like special schools for crazy people to teach them how to behave?
Oh, like a boarding school? Like Francis and Malcolm in the Middle?
Yes, that type of vibe, at least. He has talked about this, that he went to a place where there were a lot of behaviorally challenged kids. I think he mentioned something about seeing a kid stab another kid with a pencil, like early on in him being there. But also, you can't really trust anything he says. He seems like a huge liar who's full of shit.
Huge.
He gives some of the most like male feminist rapist vibes. Which is hilarious because I wasn't even planning for this. One of the videos we watched, he did his Reddit thing and he's like, and you know, I believe we live in a white patriarchy. And he's just the really shouting, I'm an ally type guy. Mm-hmm. So anyway, I can't really believe anything he says, but I'm sure there's at least a kernel of truth to that. But he has talked about how he was a terrorist as a kid. He limits it to when he was a kid. And he talks about how he was, just rambunctious and ADHD and all this shit. He also talks about his mental health diagnoses. He's mentioned cyclothymia, which is some form of bipolar. He talks a lot, or did talk a lot when he was, big on YouTube and going on all the shows back in the day, about mental health awareness and his journey of realizing his issues and how he's growing. And this was his shtick. He garnered a lot of hate on the internet constantly. And he also played the who me card, why does everyone hate me for absolutely no reason thing constantly. He is the king of making excuses for why people don't like him. He acts like he's just this guy trying to be his best self and the world just isn't nice. But over time, my vibe was vindicated and it turns out he's actually a huge fucking douchebag that everyone should hate.
I'm gathering, creating a lot of connections, parallels to one of the previous people we talked about in the first ethics video.
Yes.
I am gathering that they have a lot in common.
You're going to come away with very similar opinions if you don't have them already.
I already dislike him, but I mean, I can hate him more. My heart is open.
Oh, you're going to hate him more. You're going to be fists clenched. When you see I'll show you, when you see some of the notes I took in big font on this paper here, this was quite a trip for me preparing this episode because I discovered Max Landis kind of early in his internet fame, probably like 2014. He had a lot of movies that came out between 2015 and 16, and then he got canceled in 2017, and he's been relatively quiet ever since. He still has a YouTube presence, but it's much more image conscious, I guess you'd say.
I would say so.
He's
from
more careful.
What I've seen, it's more just like actual, like, hey, I need to get a job, type stuff.
Reselling, reintroducing himself kind of to the world, trying to show that he's on the right path. But as I said, I discovered him before all this stuff happened. He had a lot of YouTube videos that went viral. You've now seen The Slap.
Mm-hmm.
He had a video where he criticized The Force Awakens when it came out. He was kind of internet famous at this point. Pretty internet famous at this point. Where he popularized the term Mary Sue.
That was him.
That was him.
Okay.
He also had a 40-minute long video called The Death and Return of Superman that went viral, where he talked about his pitch for the story of The Death and Return of Superman, which sounds insane. You heard a few minutes of it. It is 13-year-old fan fiction nonsense babble.
Absolutely. From what he said, he's just like, yeah, and then so Superman came in and cue all the dead bodies around Metropolis. It's like, well, no, they're not going to do that.
We fade up. Metropolis is like on fire. Everyone's dead. And there's this ambulance going through. And you see Wonder Woman's lasso is all fucked up. And it's just like 13-year-old Hot Topic shopper, like just gay fan fiction that he thinks is like Unforgiven. I was saying, like, to him, this holds so much weight and it's literally just dime store trash. He had a lot of videos. These are some of the major ones. He had a lot of videos that were popular, and he became an internet personality where he's like, hey, I'm the guy who works in the film industry and knows what young and hip people want to see, and I'm trying to get that stuff past the goalies and get it made, and I'm kind of your live reporter in the field making YouTube videos where I go on rants about how fucked up the industry is because they only want to make IP and there's no original movies anymore. Red Letter Media made a lot of fun of him when his movie American Ultra came out, which is a bad movie that sucks, and it bombed, weirdly. And he made a series of tweets where he's like, why did this open 5th at the box office behind the Hitman movie? And it's like, because there's brand recognition, and even if both movies are bad, people are going to see that over the movie that looks bad, that they have no idea what it means, with a title that doesn't make sense and all this shit. And then he reached out to Red Letter Media and he's like, I'm a big fan of you guys. And then they had him on their show to talk about this. This has since been scrubbed. I think that's kind of what catapulted him to the height of his internet fame. He had some turbulent years in the press. He was really fighting with everybody for about 2 years straight, and then the cancellation happened. And I was so happy when it happened. I remember where I was when I saw the article break, and I was like, oh my God, it's finally... not that I had any suspicion that these types of allegations were lurking, but you do get a sense that he's a bad guy and there is dirt, like serious dirt.
Yeah, I would agree. When you look at him, there is this weird sense of subterfuge, I guess you could put it, that he is hiding something, and something about his demeanor betrays himself, where he is constantly acting.
Yes.
He has drama kid energy. He's
always rewriting his narrative in real time.
Yeah. I just don't like people like this. Like in high school, there were a ton of people who I could look at them and be like, there is something about you that I don't like. And then lo and behold, literally this happened twice. They came out and they had raped somebody.
Yeah.
And I said, oh, interesting how I said this at like a year ahead. And everybody's like, Nick, that's crazy.
Yeah.
But then nobody listened to me when I say the other ones. But point is, I do have a good knack for looking at somebody and being like, rape.
So one of the first notes I took when I was writing down, when I was kind of jotting out, mapping out his career and kind of thinking about what there was to say about each of these things, one of the first things I wrote down is, I'm going to ask Nick to guess how many times I've been surprised when allegations came out about somebody. And then right after I wrote that, I wrote, he could probably say the same thing.
Yeah.
It's like, we've talked about this many times. It's like, has there ever been a time where there's an article saying so-and-so is accused of rape or accused of some kind of scummy, either illegal or bordering on illegal, at the very least, highly immoral you could judge someone for this type of thing harshly type act? Has there ever been a time that's happened and we were like, him? No. It's always believe you're like, Yeah, we're like drug sniffing dogs. We immediately know. Yeah. Yeah. And there are ones that get overblown, like with Louis, for instance, like, a lot of people made the point that like he didn't deserve to be lumped in with Weinstein. But the thing is, nobody was like, there's no way he did that stuff. It's like, yeah, that tracks.
Yeah, it makes sense.
It makes sense. And with Max Landis, I gotta say, everything I'm reading it, I'm like, yeah, makes perfect sense.
Yeah, that is not a lie. Yes, yes.
I mentioned that he's always rewriting history. So he is the king of excuses, as I mentioned. Every movie he has, besides Chronicle, got, poor reception. And he was always out there making excuses about how it wasn't true to his idea. And he'll contradict himself frequently, and he'll talk about his intention. He'll pretend that things he said were taken out of context when they were just quoted verbatim. We talked about Bright and how he said it was his Star Wars. He's done this with every movie. He did it with the American Ultra thing. He lied to Red Letter Media's face where they're using his quotes and he's like, well, that's not what I said. And it's like, that's exactly what you said. You literally said all this.
The idea of like Mike or Jay just dropping the N-bomb on them is a really good visual, which they should do.
They should have done that.
They should have.
It's kind of crazy. You can still find those videos. You can see that Mike wants to cringe many times when Max is being obnoxious on Best of the Worst. And you can see that he's like, I'm giving the polite smile, but it's like, you should have had the balls to be like, you actually suck and you need to get out of here. But, the Color Society was too powerful. You're going to learn about the Color Society today, Nick.
Oh, God.
His Jared Leto-esque group.
Oh, no.
So Max Landis' career starts with something called Dear Woman, an episode of a show called Masters of Horror or something.
Oh,
a short film.
Yeah.
This is a complete, he's a Nepo baby, and he has spent so many years pretending that he's not. He, for years, was like, my dad could not get me jobs. Do you realize that my dad wasn't working anymore when I started becoming a screenwriter? And it's like, that's not the only factor here. It's not that everyone is saying that your dad just gave you jobs, although in this case, literally it is. His first credit is his dad directing something he wrote. He acts like there's just, like he just made him his own career. And I get that he did that insofar as he wrote his scripts that sold, but it's like, well, you grew up knowing Michael Jackson. Your dad had dinner parties with Steven Spielberg.
Yeah.
Like, Frank Marshall of Alive fame was in your living room and you were showing him the Lego sets he built. Like, do you not realize, but he has to always pretend like he just, pulled himself up by his bootstraps, self-made man, all the shit. He has a big chip on his shoulder, or at least he did, about Dear Woman. He's like, oh, do you know how much that credit fucked me over? Because everyone would look at me like I'm not worthy of being in the room because my first credit is next to my dad. And it's like, do you think that's unfair? That is a logical assumption.
Yeah, nobody would.
You clearly didn't earn your place.
Yeah, knowing your work, you were actually extremely fortunate.
Yes.
Yeah.
One of the highest paid screenwriters ever. Like one of the biggest script sales. We talked about this with Bright.
Yeah.
$3 million.
That is insane.
For one of the worst scripts ever.
That is fucking insane.
Fucking crazy. When you see the money, he spent so much money and he was making so much, selling pitches all the time. When you see him pitch, when he was internet famous, he would go on all these shows. Like, do you remember the Schmoes No?
The Schmoes No?
Do you ever see those videos? Those two guys who would sit in front of a camera and talk about the loft?
No, I don't think so, actually.
Well, anyway, they were kind of big on YouTube for a portion. They had a decent audience share in like film YouTube in 2012 through like 16 maybe. He was a guest on their shows, Screen Junkies, Red Letter Media the one time. He would make the rounds on these shows and people would praise him when he went on these shows talking about how he's so good at pitching. I mean, he was selling pitches all the time. He could just go in a room and be like, okay, Lincoln Logs, the movie. And they're like, all right, $2 million for you. And when he gives his pitches, he's very animated and he explains things in a way where if you're 12, you could go, oh, wow, that's really cool. But the idea doesn't really make sense. And if you actually made this movie, it'd be really fucking bad. And then when you watch him talk, he points that stuff out about other people, which is extremely ironic. He'll talk about, he's like, oh, there are scripts that sell for huge amounts of money, but they don't make sense. They're crazy. They would never be made. They wouldn't work. And it's like, that's what you do. That is what your entire career is getting paid to sell things that are quote unquote fun to read, but that actually don't make sense. And when they're shot like Bright, which by the way, as we talked about with Bright, that is better than his script. It's different. It's an improvement and it's fucking awful.
Oh my God.
His ideas are bad. And I just felt like I was this crazy person where I'm like, how does no one else see this? Like his ideas are nonsense. Every time the movies get made, they suck. And then when you find his scripts, tons of his scripts are available. Everything he's ever written that was produced, you can find the script. And there are dozens of scripts for unproduced things also floating around. You can read his writing. He's one of the worst to ever do it. Even the basics, like just putting a sentence together. No, like he just can't do it. He doesn't know where to put commas. There's no rhythm. He prides himself on being somebody who can write things that are, clear and fun and move along at a good pace and everything. But again, like you'd have to be breathing smog. You'd have to be living in LA and have no brain and just your job title is just burning money to think that he's producing good stuff. Mm-hmm. His career ambitions, he kind of wants to write the type of garbage slop that executives think they can save money on writers by using AI to get. Mm-hmm. All of his stuff is very derivative. All of the dialogue is like, that happened. It's just full of Whedonisms.
Yeah.
Every character in all of his movies is a quirky chungus who's constantly saying, like, he's right behind me, isn't he? He made a short film called Tumblr with his film school friend Brad Gage, who interviewed him on the podcast that you watched that clip of, where he's talking about his writing process. Mm-hmm. He has this Death and Return of Superman video that's very popular. He writes this movie Chronicle that is directed by Fan Four Sticks' Josh Trank. It's a successful movie, well-reviewed, and he's suddenly this famous guy. After Chronicle comes out and he is Mr. Hollywood interview man, he has several movies in a row. Me, Him, Her, American Ultra, Mr. Right, and Victor Frankenstein all come out within about a year and a half.
Wow, the quartet.
The quartet. He wrote and directed Me, Him, Her, was received terribly. He wrote American Ultra, received terribly. He wrote Mr. Right, received not great. It's probably the most well-regarded thing of these movies. He wrote Victor Frankenstein, which he claims is nothing like his script. I haven't read this one, so I can't dispute it. Maybe it is. They really did just fuck it up. But how good could it possibly be? I mean, you've seen the way he talks. That's kind of how he writes.
There's no way.
Actually, this is perfect. You've seen just a little bit of him talking. That is exactly what all of his scripts read like. Now, during this turbulent time where he's getting in a lot of internet fights, a lot of negative press, all this stuff, him always saying, out of context, oh my God. During this period, he starts developing quite a reputation for being a sexist. Part of it is the Mary Sue thing, which I think is unjustified. I've seen his comments on Star Wars. I don't think he said anything sexist. I think he actually made a valid criticism of the movie.
Rey is a Mary Sue, almost by definition.
Yeah.
So, I mean, and I will not miss an opportunity to dunk on Disney Star Wars. Yes. And so I feel from what you've told me and what I've heard about it, I don't think he did anything like that. Yeah. Out of pocket.
It's kind of his least objectionable thing, and it was the thing he got the most shit for.
Funny.
But around this time, he's still doing a lot of other hot takes that are no one wants to hear this from you. He becomes aware of this, and he starts being a little more guarded in his speech. When the Lady Ghostbusters trailer came out, he did a guest appearance on some YouTube show where he was extremely careful to just not really say that much. And either on that show or on his own channel or maybe in another interview somewhere, I've consumed tons of him talking, so it's hard to remember what came from where. He has mentioned oh, well, the internet is just so mean to me. And it's okay, again, you're playing victim. You did not ask for this. You don't know what you're doing when you say provocative things constantly in public. You don't have a publicist. Mm-hmm. You don't have anyone around you who can, but he loves it. He loves the attention. I call bullshit on a lot of his defenses. He's talked about how people will say, in his words, monstrous things to him on Twitter about the Twilight Zone accident with his dad, which we'll talk about later, and other things, people just saying anti-Semitic things to him, whatever, people trying to get his goat. And he's I don't block them. I don't mute them. How mad do you have to be? I just ignore it. And it's well, if you're not blocking it, it's because you want to know what everyone is saying to you. Mm-hmm. You don't want to miss out on knowing any of the hate coming your way because, in my opinion, he gets off on it. He likes having the negative attention. It's probably a pattern that's existed since he's a child, He's told stories. Kumail Nanjiani had a podcast where he talked about the X-Files. It was called the X-Files Files. He had an episode that had Max on. I don't know why I consumed so much fucking Max Landis talking. He was my number one hate watch, subject for a very long time. And he talked about in that interview, that he needs to learn how to just shut up, but he's been saying this for years at this point. So it's this constant thing of man, I've realized that I need to start doing X. I've changed, I've grown, but nothing ever changes. He's always talking about oh yeah, after the last media shitstorm where my name is dragged through the mud, I'm just going to stick to this corner of the internet now because it's the only way that I don't get bullied. And then inevitably he will end up in that same corner of the internet getting quote unquote bullied for being quote unquote misrepresented. It's an extremely annoying thing to watch play out where you're watching someone get paid tons of money to rape your favorite art form and constantly play victim.
Yes. Yeah. I can't stand people that can never take accountability for their actions. If you fuck up and do something bad and you apologize and you're hey, that was on me or whatever, and you kind of lay low and do your stuff. Yeah. Like Louis is a perfect example of yeah, I fucked up. I served my time and maybe I can come back. I don't know. Yeah. Regardless of what you think about him and his actions in comedy, that is at least more respectable than being guys, can you believe that this happened 100 times? It won't happen 101 times.
Yeah. And somehow enough people are desperate enough to just look past their own logic their own ability to use critical thinking. Maybe they don't have it. I don't want to sound that pompous, but I think people are just able to completely look the other way if the person that is displaying these signals, these red flags, is someone that they either like or that they want to be like or want to get something from. You know, we see this with Michael Jackson. We see this with Kobe Bryant. We've seen this with a lot of celebrities. I'm not trying to just name black people, but those are two of the famous ones.
If the shoe fits.
Woody Allen, you know. I'm that for Woody Allen. I'm going off of the facts with my opinions on that specific case with that child, but, you know, he's really close with Epstein, you know, but I don't want to believe that because I like his work. I think enough people are desperate enough to have some kind of place in this, like, Las Vegas roulette that is Hollywood, of how, you know, you could go from being a nobody to really highly paid because you wrote the right script. Like, Max Landis is the manifestation of a lot of people's Hollywood desperation. If I could just write some piece of shit, you know, in my words, just some kind of action comedy that's really zany, really quirky, really chungused up, and it's 90 to 100 pages, whatever Max's stupid fucking rules are. They think if I can do that, I could be in the same place as him. I can make millions of dollars making my dreams, which is really just taking movies that exist and repurposing them and basically doing what all very young, like tween teen people who want to make things do when they first start making stuff, where they basically just say, I'm making Django, but it's set in World War II. Or like, you know, they just take two things that exist or two genre styles they're familiar with and they just combine them. And now I have a new thing. Max Landis had this famous video called Flip the Premise that became fucking huge on the internet of screenwriters and wannabe screenwriters being like, oh my God, way to have an immediate idea. Take an existing idea and make the good guys bad and the bad guys good. So Max Landis explains this by being like, okay, so imagine you have a cop and he has a partner who's like really becoming a bad guy. And that partner has a kid and the good cop decides to take that kid and give him a better life with different parents. Do you know what movie I'm describing yet?
Star Wars?
You're right. And he basically just does this where it's like, you know, Darth Vader, Obi-Wan, okay, instead of being a Jedi Knight, somebody who keeps peace, okay, real world, they're cops because David Ayer and, you know. Just the most basic, stupid thing, but a bunch of hacks go, oh my God, I don't have any creativity, but now I just flip the premise. And, you know, I had a job reading scripts. The number of scripts I read where I went, this person is a Max Landis watcher. Like, you can really see, or at least I can see the effect that he has had on the brains of so many people who are trying to work in the entertainment industry. And I kind of feel like that French guy who didn't want Mein Kampf to be kept only in German, where I'm like, I saw the evil ahead of time. And I'm like, this man, you must be stopped. And no one knows, you know, and nobody thinks when they go to the multiplex and they just see a bunch of Reddit bullshit and that's every movie and every character talks like Joss Whedon. They probably think that's just the Marvel effect, but it's deeper. It's the Landis effect. I think he's had an irreversible, we can't even measure it, like megatons negative impact on the brains of people who are pitching movies, writing spec scripts, selling spec scripts, etc.
Okay, so I said in ethics and games journalism that Zoe Quinn basically did that, but for politics, where everything that she did just because she loved dick, basically created Donald Trump and the war in Iran currently.
All politics went into her, and all future politics after her came out of her. Not to sound so sexual.
She's the architect of the Iran war, is basically what I'm saying. So you're saying that Max Landis is basically the Zoe Quinn of writing?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Oh, fuck.
There's so many parallels.
You do not want to be compared to either of these people, then.
No. He's the worst. He makes my skin crawl. I've seen too much of his work, not only on YouTube, but his produced films. I haven't seen Mr. Right or Victor Frankenstein.
Why would you?
I mean, why would I? But why have I seen the other ones?
Yeah.
I think it was out of curiosity when I watched Me, Him, Her, because when he was promoting that movie, he didn't have the excuse of they fucked up my script because it's his movie. And when it came out and it got bad reviews, just like everything else, and he kind of, I think, anticipated, or maybe someone told him, like, you've made the biggest pile of dog shit here. He, whether he was tipped off to it or thought of it for himself, kind of knew in the marketing to be like, this movie's just really dumb, but it has a lot of heart. It's really fun. It's really crazy and kind of stupid. And he's doing the like porn girl cross-eyed thing. You've seen him do this. Yes. He kind of promoted it that way. And I'm like, very interesting. And this is where, you know, when I discovered Red Bar later, I'm like, oh, okay. I'm not crazy. And there are other people like me because Red Bar sees through it. And there are people in the, stand-up comedy world that Red Bar is like, I'm on to you.
Mm-hmm.
And I see what you're doing. You're fake. I see the tricks you play. That was me from Max Landis. And I'm like, I see what you're doing. And I watched the movie and it absolutely raped my mind. I could not believe what was happening. I blocked out a whole lot of it. And now we're going to sit down and watch it. Me for the first time in 10 years. You for the first time ever. How do you feel?
I think I'm going to fucking kill myself. I'm not ready.
Let's watch Me, Him, Her. Nick, first thoughts coming out of the theater.
This is one of the worst things I've ever seen. And
Actually, though,
we say a lot. I mean, we watch a lot of bad movies and stuff. But this is one of the least entertaining bad movies.
Yes.
Like when we were watching Gotti back in one of our earliest episodes, we were having a good time with it because we're just like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah.
This is more of a baffling, what the fuck is going on?
It hurts you in ways that we are uniquely hurt by things that we don't like. Mm-hmm. But it's of a lower grade. Like with Gotti or The Assignment or any of these things, like they're terrible and they're bad in a lot of ways that almost no movie is, but they still have like professional actors. They still have costumes. Mm-hmm. They still have cameras that are used to make movies versus cameras used to make YouTube videos, like in 2008.
Yeah.
And this movie has a lot more in common with 2008 YouTube than the worst of the worst movies that normal people have seen. So this is a lot more like watching Tony Hawk Boom Boom than it is like watching any of the live action shit we've ever talked about heretofore on the podcast.
I need to say something about Tony Hawk Boom Boom.
Yeah.
I think that is objectively a better movie than this.
See,
that's a good question.
I don't know what to think. Yeah, that's difficult because there was something else you compared it to. Do you remember? Oh, fuck. I don't see. This is what I mean. Okay, audience, by the way, today, Nick and I have consumed 0 alcohol.
Correct.
We are sober. Mm-hmm. I didn't consume any yesterday either.
I think I had 2 beers yesterday, but I didn't get drunk off them. They were spaced out.
Okay. Anyway, the point is we're stone cold sober and I'm going to sound like an absolute like babbling idiot. I have gotten almost no sleep, like good sleep in a while. And not even drunk, not even, I've had food. I have food in my body. I got the vitamin D. I was in the sun today. And I'm so fucked up from watching that movie that we recorded earlier today.
We did.
I'm not going to say what we did, but we recorded a couple episodes. And you're going to be shocked at how drunk I am now compared to earlier without having any alcohol. Watching that movie really like brought me back to being, 17 years old or whatever I was.
Yeah.
So I apologize in advance, Nick, and the listeners. I'm so sorry. I'm going to sound like an absolute this episode. Almost every scene has some editing or camera movement where we went, whoa.
Yeah. And Tony Hawk kind of made more sense because it's like, this is an impossible space because it is animated and they can really do what they want. This is like actual people on sets or just in Los Angeles, and then Max Landis is like, I need you to do this really stupid thing. Or you see like editing pop up. There's like YouTuber text popping up.
Yes.
There's they're on Santa Monica Pier and the roller coaster comes by and then you just have the word "we" tracked in, like following the front car of it.
Yes.
And I've never seen that before in a movie because it's a stupid thing to do.
Yeah.
And I don't know why he did it, because he didn't edit this. It was somebody else whose name isn't blue in Wikipedia, so who gives a fuck? But I cannot believe that nobody at a studio was like, can you stop with this gay shit?
I think that this movie was made completely independent of people who could say that kind of thing.
Oh.
Because, it's an independent movie. It was released by Big Beach, which is a indie, like, mini major, I guess, that did Little Miss Sunshine. That's their big thing. And I'm guessing it's a thing where it's like they provided funding and then you go make your movie, I guess. Mm. Or maybe their producer partnership with whoever was able to like make the meetings happen. Maybe it was Max. They just also shared his illness and they were like, I can see the vision. This is going to be good. Because he mentioned, we just watched the video. He mentioned they made it in August of 2013.
Yeah.
And it came out in 2016. Mm-hmm. And that is a long gestation for a movie of this scale, which is to say an extremely small scale. This is not a real like professional movie. This looks like your friends making a YouTube video with D-list actors. Which is or like C-list, I guess. They've all been in things that are real. I know that the main girl in this was in Boardwalk Empire. We found out the main guy is in Hacksaw Ridge. Yes. So like they're faces you might have seen, but whatever.
Well, Gina Davis is in this for like 2 scenes.
Yeah, Gina Davis and Scott Bakula have 2 scenes in the movie that took 5 minutes to film each, probably. But besides that, you're watching very amateurish like bullshit pretty much throughout. Mm-hmm. So anyway, the production quality is so bad that it's very possible there weren't like strict eyes on this in the shooting of it.
Probably not.
And then when you're in the editing room, it's like, well, all we have is footage of a puppet penis, so we can't cut it out. You know? This movie doesn't feel like it has deleted scenes.
They didn't have enough money to shoot anything that wasn't specifically in the script that he...
Quite possibly.
Yeah.
And also it's very hard to follow like the logical decisions, the logic behind the decisions of the characters, because every time it cuts to a different character in this movie, they're just in a place that you haven't seen them in before, moping around until they either see someone or call someone or get called by someone, where they then have Reddit dialogue. That's the whole movie. So every scene you're like, wait, where is he? Why is she there? What?
They go to places to have arguments. This is one thing that was like driving me up the wall, because like his friend would pick him up, and then they would drive in the car and then just be like, yeah, so that's, yeah, so, and just like the most like mumblecore dialogue.
Yeah.
And then they would park the car and be like, you're not listening to me, you're not living your true self. And basically, the arguments never...
You're such an asshole! They say that all the time.
They do.
Douchebag!
They never amount to anything besides, we have strife now. Like, what they say in the argument doesn't really matter, just the fact that they argued and went their own way.
Yes.
And there's like a scene where the guy who is pretending not to be gay, he's just like, well, I need to get back, like, we're in Santa Monica, and he's like, he's just like, Silver Lake is over there, like,
Culver City, Hollywood.
Yeah, and he's like, now you know where you are.
Now you're situated.
And it's
like emotional, but funny.
It's meant to be emotional, and yes, this is meant to be like a comedy as well. I understand that.
Fails at both. Constantly.
I didn't laugh at anything where I was meant to laugh at.
Yes.
The only thing I was really laughing at was the editing and the acting. Some of the worst acting I've seen in a movie trying to be real.
Oh. In terms of seeing people who are in SAG and have been in major productions slumming it somewhere, this is some of the worst acting you'll see. And we have talked about things like, a lot of people would see something like Gotti, for instance, they would see John Travolta's performance and say that's some of the worst acting ever. And it's like, that's a very privileged perspective. You haven't seen me, him, her, bro. This is amateur. Like, when you see the cast of this movie talking to Scott Bakula and Gina Davis, you're like, okay, I just remembered what a movie is supposed to look like. Because, I mean, they have no, like, real purpose. There's nothing dramatic or even that funny happening. But just seeing someone who knows how to, like, hold their face still, and that you can't just autistically look all over the place constantly while you're talking.
That chick.
I've never seen that in a movie. Have you ever seen the I was going to say Michael Mann, because you said Michael Mann like 100 times when you watched this. Did you ever see the Michael Caine video of him teaching acting?
Yes, he's like, and if you look this way.
Yes.
And
don't switch eyes.
Yes. And by here. Yes.
This girl really needs that video. I didn't even realize how much of a problem it could be until watching this, where there's an actress in this movie, every time she is talking, she is looking in a different direction every 3 seconds.
It is way more frequent than that. It is so bizarre. She'll be talking and the dialogue is really nothing. She's just doing this thing of like, and yeah, you know, just my life is like really crazy, and you know, stuff is happening. Giving this kind of like manic, trying to be like a Katharine Hepburn monologue, and failing, but she's looking literally up, down, left, right, like almost in a pattern, like somebody's like out to get her. And it's all just her just like meant to be in a room. There's no stakes. Like, she's not meant to be acting like scattered in this moment. And I don't know, this is just proof that Max Landis doesn't know what he's doing when he's directing, because like you and I, if we had an actress, if we were filming something and it's like we needed to like reminisce on something that's happening or just feel like you can't get the words out. If we had an actress who's looking in every direction, we'd be like, you need to fucking stop right now. You need to choose maybe 3 directions to look, and they can be like left, right, and up.
No, here's the 3 directions. It's going to be the actor you're talking to, maybe the ground if you need to think for a second, and maybe off to the side if you think you hear something.
Yeah.
You can't be looking. She's like, okay, I'm looking at a lamp. I'm looking at the guy. I'm looking down at my shoes. I'm looking at the door. I'm turning around. I'm twisting that way. I'm throwing up my hands. I'm looking into my hands. I'm looking down at myself. I'm looking back at you. I was at least asking, does she have some kind of illness?
She kind of looks a little fetal alcohol syndrome. And I'm going to try to be nice.
She has Charlie Kirk gums.
She does. Yeah, the gums that dental hygienists have, where it's like they're way protruded, whatever it's called.
Yes.
Like I said, I don't want to be too mean, because she's a real actress who has appeared in things. And this could be direction. And this is maybe an early role for her.
No.
It's not?
No.
This feels like straight out of like drama school.
Yes, she was in. It does feel that way, but no, she was in a major role in the. I think it was the first season. I can't remember the first season of Boardwalk Empire, I believe.
Oh, and that's a real show.
You ever watched that show?
Not like sat down and watched it. I've seen clips.
Okay.
Yeah.
If you've ever seen scenes where Jimmy, the guy with the blonde hair, is talking to the prostitute and it's just like Unforgiven. She has scars.
Oh,
she was cut up. That's her.
Oh.
And she's, fine in it. It's not like a deep role, but like, she says her lines convincingly. And in this movie, you're like, okay, bitch, hang on.
So if you're saying that she actually could act before, does that mean that just Max directed her poorly, or that she lost something along the way?
I don't think it's a thing of like Max told her how to act bad. Not that you're saying that, but people sometimes, I think, when they think of a bad director, they think that the actor's going, I need you to say it faster and with a bigger smile or whatever. Like they think it's that kind of shit where they're giving an actor a note that makes no sense and the actor's going, okay, when really like a bad director, I think more often than not, it's somebody who's just, they're not steering the ship and they're not saying enough. And I don't think it was probably her instinct to do the worst acting ever, because like, why would you? But the dialogue she's being asked to give is written in a way where it's supposed to be delivered in a like quirky Chungus manic mode. And I don't think she knows how to play that. And also, it would take a genius actor to play that not badly because it's bad dialogue. You know what I mean? So these things stack up.
Okay.
Because he's also a first-time director. I mean, this is his first movie, but it's actually like his 100th movie because this is exactly like all of the YouTube videos he's made. The humor of it, the editing of it. I say humor with like 18 quotation marks around it. All of the things in all of the stylistic choices are just like everything else he's done on YouTube. So it's also possible that he literally was saying, no, I want you to mumble. Okay. Let's say her name is Jessica. He says, Jessica, here's what I want you to do. I want you to deliver your whole monologue, but you're going to be mumbling, and I want you to like not even make sense half the time. And I want you to keep like touching your head all the time. I'm going to be behind the actor, and I'm going to be running around and throwing my hand. And I have these lights on my hands, you see, like Iron Man. And when I hold up a light, you have to look at the light. But then when you look at the light, I want you to look like it's possible he made it some kind of creepy, weird game because he's a sick pervert, in my opinion. And he was throwing on purpose because this movie feels like you're throwing, especially with the editing, with the text that appears on screen all the time.
He does the Star Wars font at a certain moment.
Yes.
And when somebody says Yoda, and I've never seen a movie just have like text jokes like written out like a Smosh video.
Yes.
I mean, this is worse than the Smosh movie.
I won't go over all of them, but there are multiple times in this movie where somebody says the title of a movie that Max Landis wrote. They say the Mr. Right Bar. And he wrote a movie called Mr. Right.
Okay.
They came out the year before with Sam Rockwell.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I know of that. I didn't know you wrote that.
Yeah. And he has a movie called American Ultra, and somebody says, I wrote it down, but I don't remember what the content. Somebody says like American Ultra?
just general?
Like in a sentence. I don't know what they were saying. It would be the equivalent of saying like, are you saying American Ultra is the title of your book? It was, but I don't remember what they were saying.
Like Training Day, bitch.
Yeah. It was like background noise in some other scene.
Oh, okay.
And like you did the sideways gun Training Day.
Yeah, that's so funny to put in the Easter eggs that nobody is going to get or cares about.
Yeah. And I understand putting it in there because, like, if I didn't know those things, like, I'm sure that neither of those lines, you heard them, right?
I did not hear them.
So clearly they were effective at going over the head of someone if you're not going to. So it's an effective inside gag, but also you're gay. You're extremely gay for doing this.
He's wearing a turban raping.
Prince Andrew comes to visit him. He's praying.
He's facing towards Mecca. He's like, oh, nice to meet you. Oh, I needed that laugh. This woke me up from the drunkenness of the movie. Thank you. All right, guys.
I feel better.
I'm in power. Max Landis's Talmudic magic has failed. I've shaken it off. I feel good now. I'm ready to talk about him.
It's called Me, Him.
Oh, yeah.
It's the worst. Why wouldn't you call it Me, Him, and Her? Or Me, comma, Him, ellipses, Her? Like something where it would stick in your mind. Like where it has some tempo to it. Me, Him, and Her. That has like a musicality to it where you could remember it. You know what I'm saying?
There's I forget who did it, but there's like a French movie that you always see like in Criterion or HBO, and it's called like Je, tu, il, elle, which is I, you, he, her.
Yeah.
And I wonder if he had seen that movie or just looked at that and said, that's interesting. I'm going to do that because it's artsy.
We did talk about that in the David, or at least I brought that up in the David Ayer episode to you when I was kind of explaining a little bit about Max Landis and his writing style with the Guardians of the Galaxy ending with the fucking wand. His movies, every script he writes is just things from other movies, but told through a 13-year-old, like retelling a movie they just saw they're excited about. And people who think that they're smart would say things like, well, good artists borrow, great artists steal, Tarantino. Yeah, Tarantino does it well. He rips things off, but when you watch it, if you know the reference, you're probably like annoyed by it because you're like, he's clearly stealing from 8.5. But if you don't know the reference, you could watch the dancing scene in Pulp Fiction and you go, I understand. In Max Landis's work, he's just like, I take this, I take this, I take this, I take this. I put it all in a movie and there's a sword fight. it's like, okay, Isaac, what if you did a rewrite? Isaac Leon, by the way. So anyway, it is possible that he stole the idea for the kind of weird titling sequence from the French movie you're mentioning, or from like, there's that Ang Lee movie that's called like Father, Mother, Sister, Brother, or something like that, or whatever. Anyway, so that is a thing that movies do. He does say in that YouTube video that the original title was Pronouns. And he's his own words in the video. He says, but we thought that might be too confusing. And it's like, you thought me, him, her isn't? Because as you're watching, we both said, which one is me and which one is him? Because there's two men, and one of the men doesn't have like way more screen time than the other. So until about halfway through, you're not really sure who me is. Unless it labels them. I forget if it says me or if that was the trailer.
That might be the trailer. I don't remember anything besides saying somebody's name or the actor.
Brendan.
Yeah. Brendan, and then
Brendan is him.
And then it's like she has like
Corey.
Corey is me. And then her is like, it's like a girly
Abigail.
It's like a 5-letter name. It's like
Gabby.
Gabby. Yes.
Gabby's him.
Gabby. I asked that. I'm just like, is that him? Who's that?
Gabby's a lesbian who has fetal alcohol syndrome. I think that's my interpretation of the movie. I think they're implying that.
Okay.
Her character's introduced early in the movie, drunk as fuck. And then we realize that that's just how she talks because she is unintelligibly mumbling all of her lines in the entire film.
I remember I asked you because we were streaming this from your laptop to your TV because you cannot buy this movie anywhere.
That's true.
That is true.
Discovered this morning. We were planning to watch it, then I'm like, wait, Nick, it's literally, you can't watch it.
Yes. And I had to find it on a Russian website, which apparently it's streamed pretty well, no ads. I assume the reason why you can't find this anywhere is because once the allegations came out, every single distributor was like, I don't know about that.
Yeah.
And a lot of these movies don't stay on forever because of licensing and bullshit that it kind of go above us. It's just Hollywood.
Sure.
When we were watching it, since it was streaming from the laptop to the TV, and it wasn't the greatest quality. I think it was like 360p, but we could still make out what was going on. The audio sounded so bad, and this may be compression and all that stuff, but I had to ask Kayla, I'm just like, can you understand what she's saying right now?
Yes.
And you're like, no.
Yes, there's two scenes where you can tell, like when someone's outside and there's like vague wind blowing. On this version of the movie, it sounded like a hurricane from the amount of compression, but in scenes where there wasn't that happening, there was like quiet scenes, she is so unintelligible that I was like, I don't fucking know what the fuck. And then she says one line where they gave her subtitles, but only that one line. And I'm like, can you actually keep that on? Because I don't know.
It's very bizarre. And you know what I wonder? So I was saying that this movie was like, the first note I literally took down is that he's trying to make Mulholland Drive. Because a guy arrives and I'll explain this. He arrives in Los Angeles and he's just like, city. They talk in a way of like, it's a city of dreams. Anything can happen. And then there's this weird...
It starts at an airport.
There's this weird horror element that isn't really explored a lot in the movie, but he's trying to set a vibe here.
Yeah.
Just like Mulholland Drive has this weird sinister thing behind it. And I wonder, he doesn't do the subtitles for lines a lot, like as a pure sentence. He'll do like one or two words in this stupid editing style that we talked about earlier. But there's a scene in Fire Walk With Me when Laura and I believe Donna are at the Club Jacks or whatever.
I don't remember the name, but the nudity club.
The nudity club, and it's the only part in the movie that has like baked in subtitles when you watch it in a lot of places because it's so loud. Yeah. And I wonder if he's just like, all right, I want to be like that. Like you said, he lifts stuff, and movies have probably done it before. But if he's going to be lifting from anybody, it's probably going to be another LA filmmaker who has made good stuff that is like the stuff that he's ripping off.
It's a valid interpretation. even if it wasn't conscious on his part. I can kind of see the vision of what you're saying. I mean, every cinematic quote unquote scene, meaning something that isn't just people in like an apartment talking, in this movie is shot in a wildly different style. It sometimes looks like Drake and Josh.
Yeah.
Sometimes it looks like Michael. It looks like somebody trying to do a Michael Mann fan film. It goes into high frame rate, like Collateral style cinematography. Whenever like the paparazzi are around and everything.
Oh, that was bizarre.
There are portions that look like oh fuck, remember the Vlog Squad?
Ooh, that gave me a flashback to something I don't like. What is that?
God, what's their names? David Dobrik.
Oh,
there are scenes that look like Vlog Squad style, like 0.5 lens, somebody screaming into camera, like when the ex-girlfriend punches the fucking glass. What? Do you know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah. So
help me out.
Her in the movie, one of the first scenes, which is shot in a very bizarre way. They were living together, but then she gets kicked out of the place. Yeah. Anyway. This girlfriend, she's like, I thought we were exclusive, we're lesbians. And then this girl who's like Armenian is like, no, you're wrong about that. She ends up going to this like lesbian's house, and the evil girl Armenian comes back and is like banging on the door.
Maybe's apartment, Maybe Bluth.
Oh, yes, exactly. The actress, yeah. And for context, her had slept with me. I already forgot their names. Corey and Gabby.
Let's call them me, him, and her.
Okay. So me and her slept together. And she tells Armenian bitch that, and she goes, what? And she like screams and gets more like just like scary, like there's horror editing and stuff.
She looks like Deandra. She looks like not goth. She looks like dark mascara, dark hair. Swarthy Deandra from Always Sunny.
Yes.
Okay, go on.
And she gets mad. She starts banging on the door, and in an edit that makes no sense, she like slams her fist on the peephole, and it cracks like a big window pane.
You're right. I remembered that differently, but you're right. It makes no sense.
Yes.
And she looks distorted and fucked up.
Yes. She gets distorted, and you're just like, okay, what am I watching right now? And I understand you're trying to edit it in a way that makes it look funny. Like, she's being like a monster.
Yeah.
This reminds me of, I believe it's an Abel Ferrara film called King of New York, I believe, with Christopher Walken. Yeah. There's a scene, and if you guys look it up, you'll find what I'm talking about, where he drives by, there's a guy sitting in the car with his windows down. Christopher Walken drives by, takes out a shotgun, and blows that guy's head off. And in the shot, the camera is looking from the passenger window. He's getting shot through the driver's side window. This is very complex. But the blood flies out and goes, like, splatters on a window. But then when you think about it, since both the windows are down, there's nothing for it to splatter on. But he decided, oh, this is going to be artistic. We need to see the blood spattering right there. And it's, like, on the thing that covers the camera or something like that. But it doesn't make any logical sense. Not saying that he stole that from Abel Ferrara. But... It's one of those things.
That's some 4D chess stealing.
the scene that nobody's heard until now.
I get the analogy though.
Yeah,
you're true.
Yeah, it's one of those things where it's just like, I want to show this, but then like you think for 5 seconds, not even 5 seconds. I said, wait, why did that happen?
Well, we both did. Yeah, we were like, huh?
Yeah. There are a lot of just like illogical choices in this movie where you go, well, I don't see why you would want to show it that way.
God damn it! What was the movie that you can Mulholland Drive? That theory is also supported by the fact that this movie has a lot of casual magical realism, and some of it is involved in the things we've already mentioned, but also in addition to like people not existing in spaces that make sense, there's also space in this movie. There's two people have sex and then their bed is in space.
Yes.
And then it's implied that was real. Because later he's like, well, we had sex and then we were floating in outer space. And he's like, you're crazy, Corey. You're crazy, me.
Okay, so I mean, another comparison in First Reformed where that lady lies on top of Ethan Hawke or something like that. And they have that kind of space.
The floating over
floating over thing. And that is meant to just be like in the characters. It's meant to be like, it's a movie. It's not meant to literally be happening.
When he's in bed and he's floating over all the garbage, same thing. Yeah. It's his mental state.
Exactly. But this movie, Max Landis, has a character explicitly say like, oh yeah, we were floating like in outer space, or it felt like that. And it's like, well, no. Actually, if you're a good writer, you should not have the character explicitly say this. It should be a metaphor. Yeah. It should be poetic.
And it was bad as a metaphor.
Yeah.
To be honest with you, we can't pretend it was an interesting idea that they did wrong later.
Yeah.
It's horrible as it's happening. And we're like, wow, this is a crazy way to depict their mental state. Yeah. And then he's like, it was real. Magic is real.
Like Jimmy Neutron flying in his rocket ship, no helmet.
Wow, you're really good. Oh, it's because you saw Jimmy Neutron on the wall up there earlier, didn't you? Boy, genius.
No, I'm always thinking about Jimmy Neutron.
and Monsters University.
Shut the fuck up. I re-listened to that recently.
Why are you telling me to shut the fuck up about it when you're always talking about it?
Dude, did you know that movie actually fucks with the lore?
You're always saying this.
I'm always saying this. Sidebar.
Say it again.
In Monsters, Inc., he says something to Sully like, you've always been this way since the 4th grade. But then in Monsters University, you find out they met in Monsters University. So they retcon that because they didn't watch their own movie before getting more money to make a sequel.
So you've said so many fucking
I always
times.
be talking about that.
Yeah. Also, this is something worth pointing out to the audience. So El Camino was not the first Breaking Bad movie. It was actually Me, Him, and Her. So this movie has Talking Bad's Chris Hardwick
Yes.
in an embarrassing cameo role. Well, not cameo, actually. He's in it a lot. I have a feeling all of his scenes were filmed in an hour because they're all on a green screen.
Yeah.
And they're all like his show where he's like, I'd buy that for $1. And Max Landis is like, say 99 cents.
Yes, he's never in any scene with other people. He definitely is like in the Soup TMZ style thing. And it's funny because that's the Me Too connection because Chris Hardwick got Me Too'd by a chick who lied.
Oh, really?
And he lost his career for a little bit, and then stuff came out where people said, hey, maybe we should critique people. Yeah. We should look at allegations before we take away everything.
Is it like confirmed that the lady lied?
It is confirmed that she basically was like, haha, funny.
That sucks if he got real Me Too'd for fake reason. That's gay. In addition to that, RJ Mitty plays Him's agent.
It is not.
He looks like him. Admit it. He does look like him.
No, not really. But there is another Breaking Bad connection.
I know. The El Camino dude. So RJ Mitty is a publicist, I think, technically.
Okay.
Right?
He works with Brendan's Him's like career. He's like, hey, you got a new show coming out. We want you to not be gay, all right?
Yes.
Yeah, he works at like whatever studio publicist PR.
There's a PR team made up of a lady who you recognized from somewhere.
She must be in the sitcom.
Yeah, RJ Mitty, who's the son from Breaking Bad, is like, Dad, why's that making Neville?
It's not.
And it's not him literally, I'm just saying. It's the way that like Charlie Kelly in the porn is Charlie Kelly, but not. Because like they look different, but they are the exact same. RJ Mitty's in this movie, essentially.
Okay, whatever.
Also, the guy from Breaking Bad that is obnoxious on his phone, the salesman or whatever, and Walt is like he's in his feels, so he blows up that guy's car. Mm-hmm. He's in this movie too.
Yeah.
He's a professional actor too. I guess I got to retract my statement about Scott Bakula and Gina Davis being the only good part. I do want to circle back to one thing though. I made note of this. You said that this didn't make you laugh at any point. We actually did laugh twice. There are 2 moments in this movie that are funny, that were intended to be funny. And you're going to remember them right now. One of them, a woman has a dream where there's a puppet penis. And we were like, what the fuck?
Yes.
And then she wakes up from the dream and she's like, oh my God. And then there's a butch lesbian who's sitting next to her, just watching her sleep, who goes, penis? And when she said it, we both went, penis?
Yeah, sure. If it elicited a laugh.
Yeah. And it's supposed to be funny.
Sure.
The other moment, there's a moment early on where Breaking Bad says to RJ Mitty, hang on.
Breaking Bad said it to Breaking Bad? Whoa.
He actually did, though. The car explode guy says to him, he says, we know you're fucking gay, and that shit don't fly in 2016 because... Actually, the movie constantly subverts that whole idea, which I understand is supposed to be the joke, but for whatever reason, they are also simultaneously saying your career will be destroyed if anyone finds out you're gay. So, Mr. Actor Man, who's starring in our new hit series, The Shield, or whatever the fuck it was called, if anyone asks you about your sexuality or the gay rumors, you're supposed to say it's a personal thing. Actually, I think the girl says that to him.
Yeah.
Skylar.
Shut the fuck up. I know exactly what you're going to say.
Actually, she was kind of more of a Marie.
She was, yeah.
Later in the movie, him and me are in a car. And they go, do you remember this? There's a scene where they're hanging out and one of them's like, you know what we need? And he's like, what? And then they're in traffic and he's like, ah! And there's a gay pride parade around them. And we're like, where are they?
They drove
Where are they
gay.
going?
Yeah.
What are they doing? Sorry.
They drove into the gay and they got scared. But it's like, didn't you mean that you were meant to go here?
Yeah. What was happening in that scene? What were they doing?
I think
it's like Charlottesville, but gay. And they're like, oh my God.
They drive through a crowd of gay people.
I don't know what was happening.
I don't either. I mean, it's one of those things where it's just like they drive into the plot. This happens a lot in the movie where they say, hey, the plot happens over there. We need to get there, but there's no reason to be there.
Yes. I'm more confused, though, because I get what you're saying. I know that it was so that scene could happen, but what the fuck were they... What was the scene? You know what I'm saying? I get that it happened for plot reasons, but also that didn't make any difference in the plot. They just run into gay people and they're like, oh my God! And then the police are arresting them. And then Scott Bakula's like, news alert. That's interesting. Oh, wait, that's the reason why.
Yes, he gets a news alert. Scott Bakula is him's dad. And he's just like, hey, me found out that you were gay at Pride. Isn't that interesting?
Yes, because me took over the scene, basically, and was like, I'm going to go take off my shirt and pretend I'm here for gay reasons.
He started dancing with the dancers and was having a good time. And then 4 cops like carry him out. And It's like, wait, nothing happened here, though.
And then he says, I love Essing D.
Yes.
And I can't fully say it because I don't want anyone to have audio of me saying that. But he starts screaming that at the camera, and then a paparazzo comes up to him, the actor, and says, do you have anything to say about the gay rumors? And he takes a moment and he goes, it's a personal thing. And we both laughed. His delivery was good, and it was like, oh, okay, I remember that from earlier.
Yeah.
So there are 2 funny moments, mark them 2, in a hour 37-minute movie that felt like The Irishman.
It genuinely felt like a long experience. This felt like watching Avatar, where my mind was constantly being blown, and I'm just like, this is 3 hours.
Yes, actually, though. We took a break in the middle of the movie because I just needed to have a minute. I was like, I need to stand and breathe and eat a protein bar. And when I paused it, we were 45 minutes in. We were like, God damn it. Nothing had happened yet in the movie, but we felt like, okay, this must be, I thought at least we were going to be like maybe 15 minutes left.
Oh, yeah.
At that moment, the movie basically has an opening scene, and then it has 55 closing scenes in a row. Every scene is like the final scene of a movie. Every scene is the I'm alone and sad, but then I have motivation and something happens and I'm on the mend or whatever. Characters are constantly screaming at each other. There's a fight in the middle of the movie that makes no sense where me and her have sex drunk and then have a day at a pier where they're having fun. The we scene happens. They have a Rastafarian banana?
Yeah, they win that at like a carnival game.
They have like an actual Onision reference in the video, which is like, okay.
No, I'm a banana reference.
I also call the movie a video. It's more of a video.
It's basically a YouTube video he made with his friends. It looks awful.
And then for whatever reason, me is at the pier, and then he's like, where her go?
That's weird. Yeah, she just gets out of like there. I don't remember there being.
It was like Spider-Man 3 when James Franco disappears behind the bus.
Yeah, I don't remember her leaving. I might have looked away, just to be fair to the movie. But then I looked up and he's like texting, holding the banana. I'm just like, wait, what the fuck happened?
I can assure you, you missed nothing, Nick. I was looking at the screen. I was glued to the screen. It just cuts. They're together, and then it's like The Dark Knight when he's like, so that's what that feels like. She's just gone like a ghost. And then he's like, whoa. And it's kind of like the one battle after another, like, okay, Bob, get a hold of yourself. And I'm like, what are they implying? And then it jump cuts of him at different bus stops trying to get back to him's apartment because he's staying with him because he lives in Florida.
Mm-hmm.
And then the next day they have the Scott Bakula lunch. Oh, sorry, there's 3 moments. I didn't write this down. There's 3 good moments, Nick, because the friends, me and him have lunch with him's parents. Scott Bakula says at one point, hey, me, are you gay? And him is the gay one. And me says, like, what do you mean? And he's like, well, you've always been him's best friend. And men, he just like sits there and he goes, men don't have best friends. Then he looks to the left. Then he looks back at me. And he says, a man does not have a best friend. And he delivered that line just perfectly.
It was good.
He knew how to do it. And we were like, that's funny. That's a good bit.
He's the best, most consistent actor in this entire thing.
And he's in 2 minutes.
Yes.
Anyway, while they're at lunch, Me sees him and goes like, girlfriend. He starts running after her.
He chases her down the street.
Yes, like rapist chases. This is just how Max's mind works. This is what Max thinks a romance is.
He's just like, hey, we had sex and you hate me now, so I gotta get you.
Had sex with a drunk girl who was not making sense.
Yes.
He's like, you consent, right? There's this moment where he does that. But it's meant to be romantic, so it's like, this is what makes Max hard.
Mm-hmm. Knowing that a woman could say no, but isn't.
Yes. And then she's his hostage at the pier, and then she escapes, and then he chases her down the street. And then he like tackles her like fucking the De Palma movie we saw.
Black Dahlia?
Yeah.
And that's another guy who accosts a woman, and everyone's like, are you raping?
Exactly. He tackles her, and he's punching her in the face, and he's like, you bitch, you fucking bitch.
I wish.
Didn't that happen?
It might have. I think I blinked.
I have like Mr. Plinkett vision where it's all like violent and pizza rolls. That's what this movie does to me.
We got PTSD from this. Yeah, he tackles her, I believe, or something like that.
They trip.
Okay. And he's just like, take my phone number. Check my phone number. She's like, no. And then he's like, get your phone out. She's like, okay. And he's just like, my phone number is.
And she's like, la la la.
Yeah, she's like, I don't hear you. I don't hear you. And
for minutes on end.
Yes. This is like a 3-minute fight.
Yes.
Specifically them going, no.
Close-ups, their face takes up the screen, them screaming into the camera.
Mm-hmm. And eventually she takes her phone out for some reason. And he's like, 305, write it down. 305, this is the area code. And then says the entire thing. And he's just like, yeah. And they're like, okay, fuck you, asshole. And then leave. And I'm like, this is the most bizarre romance I've ever seen. Yeah. These people do not act like human beings. This is Max Landis saying, there's a joke that I want to get across here, even though people have never done this ever in the history of the world.
Yes.
He's like, I need them to just be like caricatures, just like be angry and screaming.
Yes.
And then they arrive at the plot point that needs to happen.
It's Flanderization, which you were telling me about the other day.
Yeah, so I believe that started from Ned Flanders on The Simpsons. That was the first example, even though Lisa is kind of a better example now, where Ned Flanders in the first couple seasons of The Simpsons, like in the golden years, like first 10 seasons, he's an actual character. Like, he is the funny religious neighbor, but he does have like the plot line with Maude and a bunch of other things where he is a human being. And then in like season 25 of The Simpsons, he just comes on screen and go, ha diddly hadley. And you're just like, well, you're just saying words now. And then he's just like, the earth is only 6,000 years old. And you're just like, Ned, okay. And then Lisa was the same, where she was like playing with Bart and they would like fight each other. And then now Lisa is just a bleeding heart liberal. That's just like, Elon Musk is racist.
Yeah.
And then, Lisa, why are you saying that?
Remember on Counter-Strike? Do you remember what we were saying?
We made our friend very uncomfortable. Because we did a bit where Marge got mad at Homer because he molested Lisa.
No, you're sanitizing history, dude.
Well, we got there.
That's not where it started. We actually jumped in the deep end first. You said, homie. You said, Bart raped Maggie. Homie, why didn't... Bart raped Maggie, homie.
Marge, when you rape Maggie? Bart, I can't believe you raped Maggie.
He fucked her with his penis. And our friend was like, what the fuck?
He got very uncomfortable, as you probably should, when somebody makes a joke about Maggie Simpson being
about a child raping a baby.
One of the worst things ever.
Welcome to the premium feed.
Thank you, guys. Welcome. I mean, it's just the idea of like a season like 40 Simpsons of just like the entire A plot is just like, boy, why'd you rape Maggie? Cowabunga, dude. Just Bart, why'd you rape Miss Crabapple?
It's like who killed Mr. Burns? Who raped Maggie?
You can take that.
It ends like Orient Express. They all did it.
It was Snowball. Yeah, the cat. Oh, but yeah.
Holy fuck.
Dude, the most...
That's fucked up.
There's...
What were we talking about? How did we get on this?
It's the most objectionable thing I've ever said. Just making fun of Maggie Simpson getting brutally raped.
Oh, sorry. I don't, by the way, just to be clear, folks, I'm not putting it all on Nick. It wasn't like I'm the innocent one and he was just doing this. We were making like rape jokes.
Yes, we were riffing.
And then I think we said, we didn't say the exact same words, but we both said a character's name raped a character's name. And I think we both ended with Maggie. Oh my god! But I think I said Homer and you said Bart.
I would, if we could, I would just do this bit for 60 minutes. Just Maggie, just doing Marge and Homer, having the worst scenario.
I need to actually calm down. I'm gonna have an aneurysm. I'm laughing so hard.
Caleb raped Nick.
That's true, though.
And then Homie raped Ella McKay.
Fuck my penis.
Fucked Ella McKay. Oh. It's so crazy she was in that movie. I think we need to get back on track.
We do need to get back on track. I do want to say before I forget, one of the hardest laughs I've ever had on this podcast was going... Fucked Ella McKay's penis. Fuck her penis. Fuck her boners. That made me laugh. I was like actually seeing like stars. I could not believe how funny that was.
Oh, yeah, because we were so drunk and we were saying, yo, girl, show me your top penis.
Show me your top penis.
and then Marge was in a movie that was really bad. Oh.
Men only have the one penis, but women have three penis.
The top penis.
And they're going, so I want to kick raped Maggie. Raped her, you want to fuck her for her.
This is the worst. This is not even funny. This is just rape. This is just being mean.
You know that meme that's like intelligent female comedy and then it's a guy just not smiling?
Yeah.
And then it says like, it says like the N-word and then it's the Goodfellas laughing scene.
Yeah.
When we talk about rape, we start laughing like Ray Liotta in Goodfellas. We're like, ha, ha. Okay.
I can't remember. I really don't.
What if he raped her?
So getting off of rape for a quick moment, I forget really what where we were in the story, but after he gives her or me gives her me's number. This is so hard. There basically is like 40 minutes of like therapy speak, millennial Reddit humor.
Yes.
Of them just being like, yeah, so yeah, you're living your best truth. And yeah, you're being kind of a boss ass bitch about that.
And you know that your parents were trying to do the best for you, but it's kind of like they didn't have the tools for how to raise you right. So then you end up blaming them. And then you realize that you're just a big fucking coward who's never... It is that for minutes and minutes and minutes on end while a fish-faced woman with Charlie Kirk gums is looking all over the place.
Mm-hmm. And then the guy who plays me is like acting like he's in a YouTube video. He is giving the worst performance, I think, of the entire thing. Because at least the lady, I mean, she's bad, but he is egregiously annoying. And then 40 minutes of this bullshit. At one point, him gets kidnapped by me and her. In the trunk of a car, and he goes out into the desert and he realizes he's gay, and like Scott Bakula and Gina Davis just drive up there for some reason.
Yeah.
And then he's on the top of a mountain. He's like, I'm gay. And they're like, we know.
They're in a remote. They're like, it's, again, El Camino, the first Breaking Bad film, actually me, him, her. They go out in the fucking boonies like in Breaking Bad when they're cooking.
Yeah.
They're just in the middle of nowhere. They drive him out basically to kill him. They drive him out to an extremely dangerous remote location. And then they're like, yo, you're gay and you're in green underwear. And he says, that's interesting. And then he's on top of a cliff. Scott Bakula they have arrived because I guess they texted the address. I think me texted the parents and was like, come here and we're going to have your son come out. And then he starts going, I'm gay. And I'm realizing now that that's going to exist. He says, I'm gay and I always was. And there's like villain Marvel music playing. And then it cuts to him wearing a turban made out of his jeans. And he's drinking a beer. And he's like, it was very villainy, bro, how I came out, bro. And they're like, that's fucking awesome, dude.
And then... And then after that happens, he's like, oh, I forgot about the party. The party because I'm the actor in The Big Show with Haley Joel Osment.
Yes.
Who, by the way, has a cameo where he just has a beer and he's going, fuck, fuck, fuck.
A cameo where he is supposedly running on a treadmill, but you can clearly tell that he is not. The treadmill isn't on.
Yeah.
He's just kind of doing like, I don't even
high
know.
knees.
It's like how a horse's feet move, like when they're kind of
galloping.
Stimming. Well, like once they're not running anymore and they kind of do that. They do that thing where they kind of just lift their legs one at a time. he's doing that and yelling at like 11 cats. The editing is so Onision, especially in that scene where it is cutting. It's a shot of his face, and then without skipping time, it just cuts to a tighter shot, then tighter shot, then tighter shot. Boom, 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 boom. Over and over and over again as he's screaming on phone, saying, we're in a television show.
We are the actors.
And then at the end, television show premiere.
And swords. Yeah, so at the party that they all go to, and then everybody is here for some reason, because Girl and Armenian got back together because...
Deandra.
Yeah. Her and me got into they had like a realization or something where she's like, I need to find myself, and they kind of like break up, and then me is like, I hate women, I'm a true cell now. And then at the party, Armenian is there, and then they kind of have a confrontation where Armenian is just like, I got you wrapped around my finger.
And I want to say something. The way she's revealed, this looks like in a comedy where someone is at a middle school dance.
Yes.
This looks like a Seth Rogen. This looks like Superbad, basically. I mean, way lower budget, but it's supposedly a Hollywood premiere, like giant event, variety, red carpet bullshit. And then like two middle schoolers moved to the side, and this fucking bird seed-eating bitch or whatever is sitting there in a Halloween costume of a vulture.
She's dressed like a vampire, yeah.
But she has feathers.
She has feathers, yeah, because she sheds her feathers at some point.
And she has Princess Leia hair.
Yeah, she has like
but they're like cones.
It's very
cylinders, actually, really.
And nobody else is really dressed up in this style. Like most of the other people are in like suits. Like even the girl, her is in a suit too.
Why was she in a bird costume?
I don't really know. And then so they have a confrontation, and then her breaks up with Armenian, and then she's like, I'm evil, lesbian. She takes a sword out of this decoration on a car, like it's a sword with like interlock crossed.
Yeah, like the Pirates of the Caribbean skull with the two swords.
And, well, obviously, this would never happen in real life because this would just be a prop, but she pulls one out and it's just a real sharp sword.
Actual sword.
And it's like, wow, that seems like a disaster waiting to happen. It is. She starts attacking him with the sword, and then is it me or him that fights her?
She is trying to kill me because her fell in love with me.
Yeah.
So she's swinging at him. And then she is pointing the sword at him after trying to, like, she's swinging like to cut his head off. She pauses and kind of just points the sword like, you're done. She's giving him a chance for his last words or whatever. And the other sword is like way behind her, and he just kind of like sodgers past her. He's not really running. The choreography of this fight, we were both like, what the fuck?
Yes.
He just kind of like walks past her. She low energy swings and misses him. Then he grabs the other sword. She's like, damn it, now you have a sword. And then they start clinking swords. And every time it cuts to a different angle, they've like moved in a different part of the room. It was very again, Mulholland Drive. It was like, wait, are they in the theater or the audience or the stage?
Exactly. So in like fight choreography, I mean, camera work is one thing, but you also need your actors to be hitting in places or be standing in places that make sense logically, because there's going to be like a fight progression of it starts here, ends here, and like these are the stakes or whatever. And I'm going over a lot of it because I'm not a fight choreographer, but when you look at like a really good fight scene, it just kind of makes sense. You're just like, oh, I can track what is going on. I can see where people are hitting. This is very like handheld. I wouldn't say shaky cam exactly, but it's really hard to see what they're swinging at. They're not even really swinging at each other. They're just kind of like hitting the air next to each other.
It's like when you film somebody, but you have fake rain fall between you and them, and it looks like they're standing in rain. They're doing that with their swords, but you can clearly see they're not like making contact.
Yeah.
And there's a thing, it kind of feels like they just improv'd it because the fight choreography, it doesn't seem like they're doing a choreography. It seems like they kind of freestyled and we just have a lot of cameras going. But if you then use more than one take, they're not going to be in the same position when it cuts. So there's no continuity with like one of them will have their arm up in the air swinging down. And then when it cuts for you're seeing the final action of the sword hitting, they're in like a completely different posture. And they're facing a different direction. And we were like, wait.
It's extremely jarring. And it almost seems like he's doing it on purpose because it's so terrible. But I wonder if he just didn't know how to shoot the scene. I mean, it had to be an action, of course, obviously.
Yeah.
But, awful choreography.
I couldn't do that if I tried.
Yes.
Like, you know.
Because you and I have like the good mind to be like, oh, we understand that this is happening and I need these type of shots. But he's like, can you just swing it and we'll record it in multiple places?
Let's get this shit over with.
Yes.
This whole movie is directed like the person was saying, fucking just get it over with. But this has like just no... Like, it's your first movie. He wanted to make a movie before he got Me Too and his career went where it went. Like, this is your big chance. You are directing a movie you wrote with some real actors in it, and the whole thing is done in this, like, I'm throwing.
After this fight scene that goes on for way too long, he, like, throws water in her eyes, and she has, like, a Wicked Witch of the West, like, I'm melting type scene for no reason.
He grabs a vodka tonic and throws it at her, and she goes, ah!
Yeah, and her feathers fall off,
Yeah.
and we're just like, what the fuck is going on? The fight makes it outside, and she's just like, you bitch, you suck, whatever the fuck. And it's just like... you know, still being evil. She takes out pepper spray and then sprays him, and then he reverses
She sprays me.
Does she? I thought No. She sprays him because he's washing it off in the end with the hose.
Wait, she's not spraying me?
She might because
or both of them?
Because at the end, when him is washing it out of his eyes, right?
No, I know he gets it on him, but isn't she? Never mind. Whatever. She sprays.
She sprays him, and then like he reverses it and sprays her, and then she's like on the ground. They're like, "Oh, you fucked up" or whatever. And so me, him, and her are hanging out now. There's a Max Landis cameo here where he's like, "Hey, what's going on?" And she's like, "Fuck you, fucking fuck." And he's like, "Oh, jumping Jesus on a pogo stick."
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Yes, he does like a really millennial, like Rage Comics, like one-liner.
Yes, and he's dressed like cartoon, like from the cartoon show, the 1990 cartoon show Joker. Do you remember that?
Yeah, there is a weird... They mentioned
Beyond?
Batman Forever in the bathroom.
There is a Batman Forever thing in the bathroom. Look at the Batman Dairy Queen. There is a cartoon show from the 90s, Batman Beyond. The way the Joker looked in that is how Max Landis is dressed. Everyone's in costumes. Like weird. I know that everyone in the movie's in a costume, but they're supposed to not be.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Costuming is different than her dressing like a gothic vampire.
Dude, she's a bird.
She is a bird.
That fucking bird's eating bitch.
She is... And I guess there was a plot point that they only really mention like once, and it's at the beginning of the movie, and then it makes sense later. At the end, when him is washing the like pepper spray out of his eyes, very easily, by the way, because that shit is debilitating.
His eyes are open within seconds of getting pepper spray.
Yes, there's a guy that he is acting with in the show, like Dark Justice or something.
Haley Joel Osment?
No, it's the other guy he meets at the end in this weird like dump that they're in.
Yes,
and he has a crush on him, but he wasn't out as gay yet, so he's like, unrequited love, perhaps. And this guy comes forward and he's just like, hey, that was a crazy like fight thing. Are you okay? And he's like, yeah. And then he finds his strength. And he's like, hey, do you want to like go out sometime? And the dude is like, he's like pushing hair behind his ear. He's like, well, if I maybe like, if you wanted to, we could do that. It'd be like, okay, like maybe. And it's just like, shut the fuck up.
Are you like totally that guy who was like in that weird fight?
Yes. Awful millennial writing.
Like, make it end.
And then, yeah, they kiss immediately. It's kind of aggressive. And then everybody's clapping and like, wow, that's cool. That's interesting. Yeah. So the movie is resolved.
But it's not.
But it's actually super not. So Me has to go back to Florida because he flew here only for like a week, I think.
Something.
And
a few days, I think.
And then her is like, but you're leaving me, and I don't like that. Yeah. And they have like a tearful goodbye at LAX. And then he goes back to his job for like 30 seconds, and there's a weird like lady doing like the Irma Gerd meme. If you guys would know what that is.
Emerald Fennel.
Does look like her. Might actually be her in an uncredited cameo.
There's a non-zero chance that's Emerald Fennel.
Technically, yes.
We didn't look close enough at the credits to know, but she's in love with him, and she makes... Yeah, she does. Yeah, she does Irma Gerd. Yes. She's just staring at him, and he's like, whoa, I don't like that.
This is a person who has not been in the movie at all up until this point. This is literally just haha funny lady.
Yes.
So after this happens, everybody back in LA is at the bar chilling, the same gay bar that they were all in the first place. Mm-hmm. And they're like, yo, what's up, fuckers? We're having a good time. Lady is sitting at the bar kind of dejected, like, I can't fully enjoy it. And then she gets a text from a guy from him that's like, I just quit my job. I need to like follow my true self. Look up, dummy. And then she looks left and right and down, which is the fucking funniest thing in this movie.
We were both like, that's crazy.
It's like, first of all, it's not meant to be like funny.
She hasn't looked in the right direction once.
Yeah, she's not meant to be ditzy. It's like he just shot it wrong, directed her wrong. She turns around and sees him, and he's like, yeah, so is this happening? And
he doesn't say anything. He's pointing because they can't see us. He is pointing at himself, then her, then another girl that she's, I guess, been flirting with.
The one in the she rebukes this girl in the beginning because they're at this bar, and she's like, I just got broke up with lesbian style.
And then she's there again at the end, and he's like, her or me or him or me, him or her.
Is it gonna be me, him or her? Me, him or her? So he's pointing, and then she's just like, it's gonna be you, aka me, and I'm her. And then the credits roll Max Landis joint. I mean, am I wrong? That's basically what happened.
No, you're not wrong. It's just unbelievable.
And then the credits come in, and there's like a gay rainbow going through it. And this really, it's weird because this...
Max Landis joint? Sorry. That's just making me laugh because I'm imagining him talking like Spike Lee.
I'm not that computer savvy. My dad wasn't helicopter savvy either.
That's really good.
And so the credits have like a gay rainbow going through everything, and it has like, I thought it was going to be outtakes like when you watch like Scary Movie or something, but it's just additional funny scenes. The first one,
oh my god,
well, I don't even remember what the first one is. Actually, there's like a weird PSA that's like, hey guys, we're the actors in the movie, they break the fourth wall. You guys need to like stop sword fighting. Sword fighting is scary and it will get you hurt.
Yes.
Because I had a sword fight at the end of it. And it's not funny whatsoever. And then there's another scene where some like just kind of different takes of a guy getting slashed in the fight scene.
Brad Gage has a cameo in this movie, and he gets cut. And when he gets cut, he turns towards the camera in the movie and says, "Ah, damn it!"
He does like 5 things, and he's like "Zooey mama" and a bunch of other shit like that. That's not funny, and definitely it's not real outtakes. It was made to be this real. You can tell
they're trying to get funny gag reel shit.
Yes, and then the last thing you see is her standing on the cliff back in the desert when they kidnapped him, and she has the Rastafarian banana that me won for her at the arcade, and then she like throws it off the cliff, and there's like a weird like scream, and you're like, what the fuck is that?
It's like it's like Conjuring jump scare music. When she throws it, it's like da-da-da-da-da.
Yes, and then she throws it down, the banana jumps back up into her hands, and she's like, okay, bananas are awesome.
At it, she's like, that was really weird, and then it cuts to black.
Bananas are hecking wholesome.
It has it's like a horror movie cut to black. She's looking at it with like a disturbed revelation, kind of like inquisitive, but she also has Charlie Kirk gums, so she kind of looks stupid, like she's like
yeah, she looks like a Cassie from Skins, and I don't know how many people are going to get that reference, but if you Google that, she really does have this waifish like Anglo-Saxon look.
Sure.
Yeah,
I co-sign that. You showed me a picture. They do look actually weirdly similar. Like their mouths especially.
And it's funny because they kind of act the same, too. So I wonder if that's just another thing that Max Landis stole.
It's another feature of fetal alcohol syndrome.
Well, if every Brit has it, I mean.
I realized, I just looked over here. I did write down the first credit thing. It was Chris Hardwick. It shows a final segment of his show where he goes, and recently in other news, him has come out as gay. And it actually doesn't really matter that much, bro. And it's like, we get it. You're telling the audience to get over it.
He virtue signals bullshit.
Yes.
Yeah. Awful experience. Thank God you can't rent this anywhere.
Yeah. Thankfully, only 638 people have watched it, us being 2 of them.
Yes.
Can I say that?
Yeah. Yeah, from our source.
Is that enough to help them find it?
I mean, honestly, if you just know words to put in, Caleb, let me tell you, I found it in 5 seconds.
Oh, really?
It was extremely easy.
The only way to watch it that I could find, besides how we did it, was buying a DVD on Amazon for a lot of money. So it's out of print.
It's at least $40, maybe even 50. I remember seeing that on Just Watch. It was like DVD is $40, and it's like that's way too much. No way.
It's good news because that means that there aren't new copies.
Yeah,
because when there's more made, the price goes down.
This will never be reprinted.
No.
Unless he gets like an Ed Wood style like career reappraisal of people saying, look at how dumb this motherfucker is and how much he sucks.
Yes.
That's the only way that these are going to get, or any of his work that isn't like actually produced by a real studio
Yeah.
is going to get any distribution.
Which unfortunately is the rest of it. Like all of the rest of his stuff is in a library by a very big conglomerate that isn't going anywhere. So
yeah,
they're all better. I mean, they're way better. They're terrible, but they're way better. This is a very low point.
This is actual gay AIDS in your fucking urethra.
Yeah.
Awful experience. Why?
Thankfully, it's an exponentially smaller number of people who are ever going to see me, him, her. It's walking halfway to the wall, you know? You never get to the wall. That Half-Life, we are basically nose against the wall, you know? There's only fewer and fewer people who will ever have to or get to.
Exactly. This will get more and more buried.
Yeah.
Thank God.
Time will only hurt this movie, like all movies, but at a much faster rate for this one.
Yes. I have to say that this movie is the second worst thing Landis has ever done. Should we talk about that, of the awful Landis family?
We will talk about that. I do have notes prepared. Before we talk about Max and his father's legal troubles, or just kind of image troubles in varying degrees, one thing I really want to hammer home for the viewers, outside of us just describing how his writing sucks, or describing how the movie based on his writing sucks, I have here a couple pages of his writing. This is not an official script. He did this thing kind of like Chris Stuckman, actually, with Batman v Superman. He would do this thing every now and then where when a big blockbuster came out, Max would type up a few pages of script of how he would write the opening to blank movie, or if he were writing the ending to that, how he would do it. And almost always it was pretty much the exact same thing, which is the characters in whatever movie, whether it be Fantastic Four, or Man of Steel, I think he did it with, or maybe it was Batman v Superman also. Maybe he saw what Stuckman did and he's like, I'm not getting in that pool. I don't know. Or The Amazing Spider-Man 2, which is what you're holding here. Whatever the Marvel Goyslop thing that he loves that was coming out, he would write a version of it that is pointless, that feels like you're watching an episode of Friends, where, you know, Joey got cast as a background extra in the new Marvel movie, basically.
Yeah.
And all the characters talk like him. And it's a real, like, Flanderization or whatever the fuck. Flanders syndrome? What is it? The Flander effect?
Flanderization, yeah.
Flanderization kind of deal. Mm-hmm. So what I have here is what he posted of how he would write The Amazing Spider-Man 2.
Oh, Jesus.
How he would start that movie based on not the plot of what they did, but where he would take it following the first Andrew Garfield Spider-Man movie. This sequel had Harry Osborn as a character introduced, played by the actor who was the villain in Chronicle, who I think he knows, probably. Okay. He might have pitched a version of this movie. He was taking a lot of meetings to write big IP Goyslop that he also complained was taking over the market. So it's like, okay, Max, which one is it? He wrote a version of Power Rangers. Remember the Power Rangers 2017 movie?
Dude, yes.
So that has Landis fingerprint. I didn't see it, but I worked at the theater when it came out, and I did the theater checks. I saw scenes. That has a lot of Landis fingerprints, so he's not credited on it, but if you don't know, you have to do a ton of fucking work to get a credit in Hollywood. The Writers Guild of America is absolutely and you can literally write like almost half of a movie and not get credit because they have a percentage thing. Mm-hmm. I have a feeling like a lot of what he did is still intact in that movie. Anyway, what I have here is his version of Amazing Spider-Man 2. I'm going to ask you to read for the character of Peter.
Okay.
And the character of Harry.
Peter and Harry.
Or young guy as he's first introduced, because Max is stupid.
Okay.
So when you see Rich Teen, that's what it is. Rich Teen or Harry, same guy.
Okay.
And Peter. I'll read the scene direction and the character of Herman. As the young, rich-looking guy and Peter kneel next to each other, hands on their heads, the hostages file out. Herman stands by the door to the bank, watching the hostages go. We see his eyes through the holes in the suit's mask. Frantic, a SWAT team truck is arriving. We can hear helicopters circling overhead. Oh, this is bad. This is bad. The rich-looking kid whispers furtively to Peter. For the first time, we hear his voice.
What are you doing? What am I doing? What are you doing? Why didn't you go with the other hostages? I have a plan. You have a plan? I have a plan. What is your plan? What's my plan? What's your plan? Are you Spider-Man or something?
Tell that to Spider-Man's neck.
And then Peter, unconvincing high-pitched squeak. No! Then we stick with my plan.
The bank desks next to them are blown apart by a vibroblast. Herman stalking towards them angrily. I should explain for the nerds. This is the Shocker, the Spider-Man villain. Shocker.
This is meant to be Shocker?
Yeah, but he's referred to as Herman.
I do.
Comic book lore.
Yeah, because why would you ever write? Yeah, I also love to say, putting in a script, a vibroblast, like, nobody's going to know what that is. That's not like shot by a bullet. I get what a bullet is. What the fuck is a vibroblast?
Well, you've seen blasts, right? This one's vibro.
Oh, I'm sorry. Max, I'm sorry.
I want to take issue with a lot of the wording. I love that he wrote whispers furtively to Peter. Now, there's a kind of a rule in screenwriting that I don't really believe in these that strongly, but it's interesting because Max does, and he crucifies people for breaking the rules, and he breaks them constantly, which is basically to have needless adjectives. If someone's doing an action, say he sets it down, not he slowly sets it down carefully. It's like, we don't need all that, Furtively whispering, you could just say whispers.
Yeah.
He whispers furtive. It's important you know he's furtively. Anyway, so Herman shoots the vibroblast, and then he says, "Both of you shut up. Stop talking. I need to think." Herman aims a gauntlet at the rich teen, preparing to blast him when Peter pushes him backwards, stepping in between them. The rich teen can't believe it. Herman's stunned at his hostage's aggression.
Listen, sorry I did the physical, the pushing.
Herman aims his gauntlets, the mechanisms whirring to life.
Hey, come on, don't use the vibrators on me. Well, that sounds, but I mean, listen, just surrender. You've already let the hostages go. There's no reason you can't.
Herman abruptly and violently grabs Peter, shaking him. As he rants, Peter slowly slides his web shooter down his sleeve towards his wrist. "I ain't going back to jail. Shut your stupid mouth before I shake your goddamn teeth right out of your skull, you little..." And I did that because it's all caps, then it goes to not caps.
Yeah, great writing.
I love that he says, "you little." Like, again, this is Friends. This is like, well, this is what we've seen in
That's
movies.
Homer Simpson.
He writes the most cliched. I want to mention something. Sidebar. There's a moment where Max is talking about how he's writing a movie that has a black teen at the end, and there's someone who's like, "You can't stop the revolution," and the black teen says, "I am the revolution." And Max is like, and that's a really badass line, right? And it's like, no. That is actually, that's a very basic. If I was watching Tropic Thunder and there's a fake trailer, it'd be the tough guy being like, "I am the revolution." It's just cliche. That's all he writes. Anyway, the rich teen loudly clears his throat. Herman and Peter both turn, confused.
"Where did you buy these devices? The gauntlets on your arms, where..."
I didn't buy them. I built them." Herman drops Peter, backing off, collecting himself. The rich teen makes a weird laughing noise. He makes a weird laughing noise. He sounds impressed.
"Okay, let's change this conversation up right now."
"Shut up. Stop freaking talking to me."
"But you don't want to yell at me, and I don't want you to yell at me. See, I want us to be friends." That's very weird.
It's hard to read the script because he writes so badly. It doesn't roll off the tongue.
Yeah, that was some weird... Okay.
And he would defend this by saying, "Dude, I wrote it in 5 minutes." And it's like, well, you published it.
You shouldn't do that then.
Yeah. Peter, straightening himself, stares in confusion. "Who are you?"
"My name is Harry Osborn. Yes, like that Osborn. And this, what you're doing, it's a lot. It really is. You are overcommitting to a bad idea. I mean, do you hear the sirens? You're not getting out of here, man. We both know that."
"You don't tell me what I know."
"Okay, yes, overstepping, but what if I told you there was an undo button? You haven't killed anyone. Hell, even that guard walked out of here on his own 2 feet. So what if you could take this back? What if all the bad decisions of the last couple years could just disappear?"
"What are you talking about?"
"Do you mind if I stand?" "I'm going to stand."
Harry stands up. Peter flinches, trying to figure out how to protect him, but Harry seems totally unafraid. "Hey, sit down."
"You don't want to kill me. I want you to really think here. You build insulated, non-lethal vibration devices with applications in construction, law enforcement, the military. You're robbing a bank for $1 million with a weapon worth $1 billion.
I just built it in my garage." This is like the opening scene of, what's the movie that Sinners ripped off?
From Dusk Till Dawn?
Yeah, this is kind of like Tarantino. It's trying to be Tarantino thing where, or like Pulp Fiction. Yeah. You know, we have the classic scene, but the characters are self-aware. And they're like, actually, you know, nobody robs restaurants, you know. I just built this in my garage. I got a record, man. I love how he's immediately convinced.
Yeah.
I got people who I owe money. Bad people.
Your garage. Okay. Wow. Okay. Herman, I think you're a genius, like a real genius. And I think it would be a shame, frankly. I think it would be bullshit to see an invention like that stripped away from you by the federal government and you spending the next 10 to 50 behind bars. That would suck. That would suck. But
Harry draws out his cell phone. Peter and Herman both flinch. Harry just laughs and smiles.
But, there is a but. While they were pulling out the other hostages, I did some texting in my pocket. In exactly 2 minutes, power is going to go down on this block. 30 seconds after that, a helicopter is going to be landing on the roof. We should be there.
But what about?
It'll be better than jail, I promise.
Peter inches the web shooter further, but then Harry turns to Peter, startling him.
You coming?
Cut 2. Harry, Peter, and Herman in the back of a stealth luxury helicopter as it lifts off. By the way, that's just The Departed where he's texting in his pocket. I know that he was picturing that when he wrote this because everything is from something else.
I call this the Dick Sharded. No, but really.
Anyway, the helicopter flies. I don't know what that was. Beneath them, SWAT team rushes the bank, firing tear gas, grenades. Peter clutches his backpack as he watches. Herman pulls off his mask, revealing ruddy, modest features. He stares down at the cops, like Peter, in total disbelief. Harry, sitting opposite them, smiles, talking to the pilot.
Tower pad B, please.
Yes, Mr. Osborne. While Herman's distracted, we see Harry let out a deep, shaky sigh. Peter leans in, concerned.
I think you might be the bravest person I've ever met. Peter Parker. Harry Osborne. I can't believe this is happening. Okay, for context.
You're not reading it wrong.
I'm not reading this wrong. It is just the exact same line for no reason.
Harry pops a cork on a bottle of Dom Perignon.
Champagne.
Slam 2. The helicopter decloaks. So apparently we're in like actual science fiction.
I mean,
I know that it's Spider-Man, but
yeah. So also, I'd love to say
there isn't magic in Spider-Man.
I mean, yeah, it is like meant to be science, or just like, oh, there's like the spider gave him the spider powers because it's like radioactive or whatever the fuck. I would also like to say I love that it's a stealth luxury helicopter. Like, I understand the Osborns are rich, but they don't have like a fucking like the Akula from GTA Online that can just turn on and off like radar.
This is implying that the Osborns supplied the helicopters from Mandalay Bay.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
They can be there like that, by the way. Mm-hmm. Anyway, the helicopter decloaks like the Predator, and it sails out over Manhattan, framed against the sunset, slam in title, The Amazing Spider-Man 2.
Okay, so that is the intro to the movie. You just see them, and they're just like in a bank robbery or some fucking shit?
Yeah.
Why would Peter be in the bank with Harry just doing bank shit?
Yeah, why would the richest kid ever be in like a Chase bank?
Yeah. Well, I mean, like, you know, you've seen multiple like iterations, like all the members of the Sinister Six, which Shocker is one of them. Like they will rob a bank, or Scorpion will, or like Rhino, or something like that, where they're just there, and then Spider-Man is like around the corner, and he gets Spidey sense. He's like, I don't want to.
Yeah.
But it doesn't make sense for this to happen because, like you said, Harry's a rich kid. Why is he just making withdrawal at the bank? No, you would have. There's no reason for that to happen.
And why is Peter written like every Max? Why is he going, I'm sorry, Shocker, that I got in your way. I didn't mean to be aggressive. That is the opposite of how Peter Parker is supposed to act. At least like from Max's perspective, because I can be an autistic when it comes to Spider-Man and Batman. I read a lot of Spider-Man and Batman comic books when I was a kid. From Max's logic of being true to the characters, Peter Parker is actually like a smug dickhead to criminals.
Yes.
You know, not undeservedly. He fucks with them and he doesn't feel bad for them ever.
He's constantly taunting them.
Yes. That's the whole point. Is that it's like he's a loser in his real life, but he gets to have, when he's Spider-Man, it's like I get to be cool.
That's why he becomes cool in black in the third one.
Yeah. So he just, he can't write.
No.
It's really, there's really just no better way to say it. Max Landis is an inept writer. He should have never had a career as a screenwriter. His dad, by the way, he has told stories that his dad is like, you don't want to be a screenwriter, Max. It is the worst job in the film industry. You get, you make money, but it's just frustration. Your movies don't get made. When they get made, they're made wrong. You don't want to do it. And Max is like, I'm going to do it. And then he somehow managed to bring even more shame and dishonor to his family.
Oh, my God.
Let's talk about the Landis PR problem.
Oh, and it is a big problem.
It's a big problem. We'll start with the one that is definitely worse, but there's less to say about it, I guess, which is the former Landis, John, his mishap, if you want to call it that, in the early 80s. Yeah. I don't want to spend forever on this, and I also don't want to say anything that's going to get Max coming after us, because he got, we'll talk about it later. Max has some powers, I think. This is my theory.
Okay.
But he somehow that I didn't think.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So anyway, to protect ourselves, we're not going to make any crazy accusations. We're going to stick to the facts here, but they are facts that are worth knowing. I would say anyone who knows anything about like Hollywood scandals, you've probably heard of the Twilight Zone accident.
Yes, a very terrible accident, which could have been avoided.
Yes.
Should have been avoided.
Yes.
There were, it literally changed Hollywood in the way that certain things are filmed.
Is that true?
That is true.
I didn't know that part.
After all this happened, which we'll get into, more safety procedures and things were put in place to ensure that this never happened again. Because, and this is, true, admitted, John Landis and other people went around the system to specifically say, hey, we need to do this because we know that we can't get it done correctly in time.
Rules were broken.
Yes.
Although the distinction, I think the reason why there's so much debate on this is that people seem to just talk past each other, because while it is true that rules were broken, decisions were made by John and other people that they don't even dispute.
Yeah, they meant to.
That were the wrong choices, and it led to a catastrophe.
Yes.
The very simple version of it is that while filming a scene that involved a helicopter, there was a pyrotechnic. There was an explosion, faked. It's a real explosion, but a staged explosion that happened that fucked with the helicopter and kind of knocked it off its axis. It started spinning out and crashed, killing the actors in the scene, which were 2 children and this guy named Vic Morrow.
Yes, 2 Vietnamese children who were actually, I believe, scouted from people that John Landis and other people knew.
Oh, really?
It was like a thing of, I looked this up earlier, and it was like, hey, I got like a friend, and this kid is like photogenic or something. So it's like, it might be good to have a kid who actually knows how to act in front of a camera.
Sure.
Pretty much leading up to this, everyone behind the scenes was like, well, if you want to get like kids working indoors, and it was at a late hour, I believe, too.
They were breaking child labor laws.
They were, and then Landis and other people are just like, we can get around this if we do this. I forget if they got something like, I mean, they did break laws, but I forget exactly to the extent of how it happened, because I don't want to say anything, that will get us sued.
The indisputable fact is that the children were not supposed to be working at that hour.
Yes.
The thing that gets misconstrued is that there weren't supposed to be children in the scene. They were never supposed to be in that like river or whatever where the helicopter was over them. That's not exactly true. It's just that Frank Marshall, one of the producers on the movie, director of Alive, our favorite, him and other people protested, like, we don't think you should use dummies, like kids or whatever, because this is just way too many things that could go wrong, basically.
Yes.
And he was under the impression, Frank Marshall, that they were using dummies. But that has gotten turned into, Frank Marshall said the kids are going to die, and John Landis went, let them die. It's like, that's not, yeah. Anyway, but they weren't supposed to be working. And John Landis, as well as other people, there were 5 people charged when the deaths happened. The associate producer, the unit production manager, the special effects supervisor, and the helicopter pilot, as well as John Landis. They were the 5 people that were charged because it was assumed that these are the people who all knew, hey, we're having kids in a dangerous situation, and Vic Morrow, poor guy. But, he wasn't as young. So I guess they're less sad about him. They're like, hey, these people knew that this was a dangerous situation. They said, fuck it. Essentially, that was the allegation.
Briefly, I just wanted to refresh myself on the notes of this. So I did go on like Wikipedia and just looked over what happened. And I believe Vic was also in Vietnam or something. Like he was in the military, and he's like, hey, that helicopter, it should not be that low because it could cause problems.
Yes.
And there are other people saying like, hey, pyrotechnics, it might be bad to have it that close to the helicopter because If you don't know anything about helicopters, if anything hits a tail rotor, I mean, you could bring down a helicopter with like very low caliber ammunition if you hit something enough.
If you've ever seen a video of a helicopter spinning out, that's why it's spinning out. It doesn't take much.
I don't go in helicopters. I have sworn off helicopters. I will never go in a helicopter.
You would be crazy to do so.
They are death traps.
Speaking of Kobe Bryant.
Yeah. Well, thank God took him at that point.
What are you saying?
Sorry.
What are you saying?
I had a real Tim Heidecker moment. They were doing the shooting.
Why is being censored an insult, you know?
Thank God that God took him at that point for all the rape.
You're a Kobe truther, huh?
I don't like basketball. I'm not a black person, so why would I ever defend him?
Do you think Kobe did the rape?
Well, I know the story that a girl showed up at his room.
Yeah.
And I mean, the way that he responded to it was pretty much just like, I thought it was going to be consensual. It was very flippant.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know enough about his response to comment on it, but I have looked into that because when it happened, and who's the fucking guy that
Ari
was like, yes, he was like, Kobe's dead, thank God, whatever. Like when everyone wanted to kill him, I was like, let me do research to see if I agree with the pylon or not. And I remember that from what I looked at, I was like, it doesn't look like he raped. It looked like it was a woman who's like that classic thing of when actual rapists are defended by fans where they go, this is a woman just wanting attention. When I looked at the case, I was like, this kind of seems like this, not attention, but like a money, I'm trying to scam you kind of thing. Because it's like, all right, we're going to have sex. I show up to your hotel room. We have sex. You put hot sauce in the condom so I can't, milk a baby out of you. I accuse you of rape now. And he's like, really?
Yeah. I remember reading into it and being like, there's some like wiggle room. It's like, we weren't there and it's a little thing.
There's no way to know.
It is really funny like how many just like Latino teenagers will defend, because he's my favorite Negro who throws a ball in a hoop. So every single thing about him is like completely okay now.
Do they do that?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. If you bring up that Kobe like even was like adjacent to that woman at any point, they're just like, fuck you, how dare, that is the GOAT.
Well, Lakers fans are like psychos.
Latinos, yes.
Yes.
But yeah.
Overlap. Lakers fans are nuts. And I mean, I've read Jane Doe's testimony or deposition. I've read the transcript, and it doesn't read, although this could be different, hearing it would make a lot of difference. It doesn't read like someone making something up. It seems consistent and like consistent tone throughout, where when someone's making up a story, you can kind of tell when they're thinking, when they're pausing to invent versus pausing to remember. So hearing it would make a big difference. I haven't heard her say it, but I did read it and I was like, this is believable. But I didn't read enough. I didn't see enough to be like, oh, he definitely. Whereas with Michael Jackson, I'm like, you're a rapist. You know what I mean?
Yeah. If I remember correctly, in the story, it was like she says she like tried to leave at some point, and he's like, no, it's sex time. And instead of the way of just like, we're going like, hey, do you want to have sex? And then later she's like, money or something like that. It was just like, all right, thanks for doing that. And then he's just like, my penis, by the way. That's what I remember from the story.
Do you remember if she reported it as a rape that night or not?
I don't remember.
I don't remember. That would make a big difference to my...
Yeah.
Because if it's... not that everyone, if they actually have been raped, is going to report it right away. Sure. In fact, it's probably the opposite.
Yeah, they would.
But if it was like same night, that does add, I think, something where it's like she didn't have to think about it of like, do I want to? Because if you're gonna scheme, you're probably gonna take a second to think about it first, you know, and run it if you're normal. Although if you're gonna do a rape scheme, are you normal? It's the thing. It makes it hard to know.
True. Yeah, it's one of those things. And then also Magic Johnson had said in the past of just like when you're a basketball player and you're like when you're like high level basketball player, like you're like, Mount Rushmore people put on. There are women, you're just having sex like every night. They're just like, hey, the women are here. Oh, sure.
Oh, that guy who broke up with Megan Thee Stallion recently.
I forget his name.
I don't remember, but he's a star player, and her story, at least that she came out with at the time of this recording, it happened very recently, was that he cheated. And it's possible that they had a monogamous relationship and he secretly cheated. It's also possible that they didn't, because I think it's a relatively short-term relationship. It's also possible that it was an unspoken thing of like, well, I'm not settling down just yet. I'm kind of the fucking king.
Yeah.
And,
I have tens every night who are who want to suck my penis.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's possible that the breakup, it was possible that it was just a breakup and then it was like, well, I can say he cheated. It's also possible he cheated. I don't know. But I could believe the other story. It tracks for celebrity.
Yeah.
Do you know that story of, that woman fan of Jack Nicholson showing up to his house?
No, I don't actually. What? I'm interested to hear.
This is such a tangent, but it's hilarious. There's some woman who showed up to his house. Maybe she didn't even know it was his house. Maybe her car broke down. I don't know. But it was just like, hey, oh, you're Jack Nicholson. Oh my God, I'm such a fan of you. It's like, oh, okay. And his girlfriend at the time, this might have been Angelica Houston. This might have been somebody else. Whoever he was with was like, oh, here, woman, go sit in this room and you can use the phone. Mm-hmm. And then when she went back to the room, the woman was sucking Jack Nicholson's dick. And he's like, this is awesome. And then the girlfriend like freaks out, kicks her out of the house. He's like, babe, you're gonna, he's like,
you're really gonna get mad at me.
He's like, someone offers you a blowjob, you turn it down. It's just like, he's the most classless fucking scumbag.
No wonder, how has he not been like shot in the head?
Dude.
Damn.
I blew some people's minds on Reddit. Somebody posted something on r/ask Reddit that got recommended to me, where it was like, what thing... I can't actually say this because someone could dox my Reddit account, my alt. But somebody asked a question and I answered with the thing about Jack Nicholson, where I'm like, I dropped a truth nuke and people were like, what? And I got I broke upvote history for my account.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I got an achievement.
They give you low Reddit gold.
That was today.
Whoa.
So,
okay.
Yeah, we'll talk about that on Convicted Cinephile. Teaser episode.
Oh.
Teaser for a new episode.
Okay.
Several years after the accident, there is a trial. John is one of the defendants. Eddie Murphy has told a story that he, meaning John, was very angry that Eddie Murphy did not show up to the trial to support him. In his words, John Landis wanted Hollywood celebrities that he was affiliated with. He had worked with Eddie Murphy on at least one thing.
It was either Beverly Hills Cop 2 or 3.
3 came after. Okay. And that was their first time doing that. Oh, maybe it was Coming to America?
That was it.
Yeah. They had worked together, knew each other. And Eddie Murphy described that John Landis wanted celebrities there to, I guess, legitimize the defendants. And so that people at home or the jury would be like, I like Eddie Murphy. These guys didn't do it. And Eddie Murphy's own words, it's very funny if you ever read this interview. He's like, it's written out where I can kind of hear in my head how he was probably saying it, where he's like, yeah, and I'm like, well, I hope you get off, but also these children died, so if they put you away, like, I'm not going to be fucking going down for you.
Yeah, he's like, why would I defend you?
He's like, fuck you. Like, you know, whether you're guilty in the eyes of the law or not, I think you're guilty, basically, is what he's implicitly saying. And that his version of the story is that then when Landis got off and was working with Eddie Murphy, I think on Beverly Hills Cop 3, that he came to him and he's like, you fucker, our friendship is over. Do you know how close I was to going to jail? And it's like, Landis probably was sitting in that chair. He was probably like, I am going away.
They might do it.
Like, he probably had a similar feeling as when OJ got the acquittal, where it's like, really? Apparently he confronted Eddie and he's like, fuck you. I'm only making this movie with you because I need it. And our friendship is over forever. And Eddie Murphy's like, yeah. And then he started crying and he tried to grab my dick. So I think it was a thing where John Landis, at least if this happened, in Eddie's story, basically Landis flipped out and tried to do what like a 10-year-old would do, where he like punches your nuts essentially or something. He started crying, tried to grab his dick, and then said, Eddie, and then ran out of the room. And he's like, yeah, and his wife was a real prima donna bitch. And hearing this, I'm going, okay, everything I've ever seen about Max Landis's behavior, Eddie Murphy's description of his parents, it kind of sounds like two halves of Max.
Yeah.
So I believe Eddie. I'm allowed to believe him.
Sure.
For the record, I believe Eddie's story completely.
The only other thing I know about the aftermath of the trial is that Steven Spielberg just disavowed and stopped talking to John Landis, which is very funny.
Yeah. A man who didn't disavow Michael Jackson.
Yes. He was fine with everything else, but he's like, John, this is one step too far.
Really? Yeah. We talked about Frank Marshall and Kathleen Kennedy. Kathleen Kennedy and Frank Marshall are Spielberg's they're the trio of the producers, the kings and queen of Hollywood at that time. And Frank Marshall was extremely, as anyone should be, extremely mad that they lied to him about using dummies and used the kids, breaking the law, just child labor laws, which led to this disaster. Like, no matter how you slice it, if John Landis hadn't made the decision he made, those kids would be alive.
Correct.
And Max and all your fucking cronies Don't pretend like what I just said is that John knew they were going to die and did it, because I didn't. But he decided that they were going to use the kids for the shot late at night when everyone was worried about safety. He did make that decision, and they are dead. Those are two facts that you cannot dispute.
If your dad did not make that decision, those kids would still be alive.
True. And maybe that doesn't necessarily mean that he's going to go to jail because, the burden of proof or whatever to put him away for, I think it was like reckless endangerment or whatever, or,
manslaughter was
involuntary manslaughter.
Yes, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. There wasn't enough evidence to say that he's guilty of that and deserves jail time, but in the eyes of God, he will probably be judged for that.
Yes.
Max has told many stories about his father being traumatized by the event, as anyone would. You watch kids be beheaded by a helicopter blade.
I've seen the footage of it. It is terrible.
I've never watched the. I don't want to see that.
It is. It's like a kind of behind the scenes, I believe, camera. Like I forget exactly how you describe it.
I think it's a B cam. Sure. I've seen the still. It's a B cam on a hill, getting a wide shot of the planned explosion.
Yeah, I don't want to go into too much graphic detail, but you see everything.
That's crazy.
It's you see all parts of it.
That's awful.
It's awful.
Anyway, Max has talked about how his father's traumatized and that people say terrible things to their family and make fun of him and make jokes about it all the time, which is bad. You shouldn't do that. But here's the thing. Once the trial's over, you would not be implicating yourself or admitting fault. Once all the civil trials, everything's over, you wouldn't be shooting yourself in the foot to say, I really hate myself, what happened, and I wish far as I can tell, John hasn't really done that. He kind of lives like it didn't happen. And that's, I think, probably a major source of people's anger with him. Because there are people who have been responsible for more carnage than just 3 dead people. Not that I say just 3, like that's nothing.
Yeah.
But, there's people who've done worse who are less hated. And part of that is probably the owning up. And it doesn't seem, from what I can find, that John ever did anything publicly to acknowledge. He kind of seems to have just moved on like it was nothing and wiped his hands clean. I had nothing. And it's like, yeah, you didn't know they were going to die, but you were literally you are the person in charge. You made a series of what everyone knew were bad decisions. Apparently the crew was like extremely anxious during this entire filming of the sequence. So like, we feel like we're going to die.
Several people were like testified in court. They were just like, hey, I said this was a bad idea. Like, I think Vic said something to John. He's just like, hey, that explosion in an earlier scene that came close to a helicopter was really scary. And he said, apparently, according to Vic, you haven't seen anything yet. Or something along the lines of, just wait, buddy.
Yeah.
Just wait. Your head's going to blow.
Would it be funny if John was going around set just actually this is gonna kill at the theater.
He's making like tongue-in-cheek jokes, just singing like "Put your head on my shoulder." And like, why are you saying all that? And he's like, "Don't lose your head over it."
It's a shitty situation. This is kind of similar to Rust also, where, not that Alec Baldwin deserves the same level of shit, which he's gotten way too much for something that is not his fault.
Not his fault.
Not that Alec Baldwin deserves the same level of shit or has gotten it. But it's kind of like a Rust thing where it's like someone dies on set, you want heads to roll. You want justice.
Absolutely.
And then when you don't get it, it's like, well, fuck the guy involved. And it's, Landis did receive, in my opinion, too much, like torturing from people over this issue. But as I'm saying, I understand the anger. It makes sense. And you don't really seem repentant. And the only real evidence I can find that you're repentant is your accused rapist son saying, my dad really feels bad. You don't even know. And it's like, well, okay. Every time I see a picture of him, he's just all smiles and just enjoying life as a retired, like super rich director. With completely unburdened is how he comes off.
Wiping his tears with $100 bills. Just, oh, boo-hoo.
Yeah. So it's an unwinnable position, but I don't think he played his cards very well.
No.
So stop crying. It's really not that big of a burden to have people on the internet make fun of you when there are dead children because of a decision you made.
Yes.
It's actually, you got off very easy.
Yeah, there were multiple avenues out of, oh, maybe I shouldn't do this. This wasn't one thing of like, oh, let me do one thing and then everything collapsed. Yeah. It was like, no, you know what you're doing. And other people like, no.
And his career wasn't over. No. It's not like this canceled. Like, he kept working for over a decade after this, you know, well, almost 20 years after the incident.
Yeah, he was still allowed in Hollywood.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's what kind of started the for lack of, like with Poltergeist, where it's like, oh, we defiled the, burial ground and now the house is cursed. Another Spielberg Kennedy production that has some interesting, we won't get into that.
Mm-hmm.
This is the first bad mark. This is the first defiling of the burial ground where the Landis family is just like, whoa, stay away from these people.
Yeah.
Because, Nicholas,
yeah,
in 2017, Max is at really like the height of his powers.
Oh.
He has all these movies. He's kind of getting less shit on the internet. Still turbulent time, but he's getting a little less shit. He now has a TV show that's well reviewed. He has his first like warmly received thing ever. He did an adaptation of Douglas Adams' Dirk Gently. This had 2 seasons. I've never watched a frame of it. The cover gives me AIDS. The guy playing Dirk Gently is making Chungus face.
Oh God.
And I already know what the show, I don't need
no reason to watch it. You'll know you aren't going to gain anything from it. So it's like, I refuse. I'm not going to watch it.
Right. Show comes out. Max Landis is high on his own supply. He's making YouTube videos from the production. He's like, look at this. We're making Dirk Gently. Oh my God, my dream's coming true. I've always loved Douglas Adams. I've always wanted to make an adaptation of his work. I finally can. It's my vision. We're making the show. Oh my God. He's at his apex. He gets paid $3 million for this Bright script a few years prior. It's now made. The trailer is out. It's on Netflix. Big blockbuster starring Will Smith.
It was the most watched movie at the time on Netflix, surprisingly.
Probably.
Yeah.
They did a lot of marketing. You could not avoid the trailer. And people were going, this looks like shit.
Mm-hmm.
But, any piece of shit on Netflix back in the day somehow did like Avengers numbers, no matter what.
Yeah.
The trailer, I think, for Dirk Gently Season 2 comes out. I don't remember what exactly he was marketing, but Max Landis appears at Comic-Con, and he goes, Dirk Gently Season 2! We have all these things coming, whatever. He takes a clip of that, puts it on his YouTube channel, and then there are no uploads to his YouTube channel for a very, 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 very long time. Like, I think over a year, well over a year, maybe a few years. Because shortly after this video got uploaded, I think this is right before Bright came out, maybe the week Bright came out, some stuff happens on Twitter and Max goes internet silent. And, I didn't notice. I wasn't following Max. But I start seeing major news reports saying Max Landis accused of sexual assault, rape, unwanted touching, etc., etc. And I went, hold on. I was right. And I start looking into it and I start seeing names I recognize. And this is my like beautiful mind, everything fitting together moment where all these things that I've seen glimpses of, interviews, videos of him talking about relationships he's had, girlfriends, him talking about his like current girlfriend at the time in 2014 and mentioning this trip to Joshua Tree. And now I'm seeing allegations about a trip to Joshua Tree and I'm going, oh my God, this other movie that was happening the whole time. You saw a video earlier with a cute Korean, I think, girl, and Brad Gage.
Oh, the podcast one, yes.
Me, Him, Her fame.
Yeah.
So that girl who seemed tight with Max, she's in that interview, she's kind of talking him up. She goes, oh yeah, these all sound really cool ideas and you're so impressive and all this. A couple years later, she tweets something. I can't imagine who is more scared in a post-Weinstein world than a famous director's son. And this was the tweet that broke the internet because suddenly, because it's obvious who she's talking about, everybody has a story about this Max guy. You saw a photo earlier of Dylan Meyer, his ex-girlfriend who then went lesbian and married Kristen Stewart. He has a lot of girlfriends he talks about. He's told a lot of weird, overtly sexual, I don't want to hear this stories in public many times in podcasts and interviews and whatnot. You talked about this once. You said you knew someone who did the same thing and you're like, this is strange.
Yes.
I don't like hearing this.
They would outwardly say stuff about sexual encounters they had. And regardless of how women think that men talk about in circles, we don't talk about sex openly like this. It's extremely what are you talking? If you came and oh, by the way, Nick, got my fucking dick. So I'd be like, Caleb, shut the fuck up. I don't want to hear this.
Right. And Max did this. He talked, I know way too much about his sex life, not from these allegations, but prior, where I remember the story he told of how he lost his virginity when he was too young, like way too young.
I thought you were going to say 2 for a second. Like, what did John do?
What did Michael Jackson do? John Landis, by the way, directed the the Thriller video.
Because Scorsese did Bad, I believe.
Scorsese did do Bad, yeah. So, he met Michael, he knew him a little bit, at least as a kid.
And he freaked on him.
It's possible that he went to Neverland, okay? Yeah, these women have extremely similar stories. I have chosen some excerpts from the famous Daily Beast article titled 8 Women Accuse Hollywood Filmmaker of Emotional and Sexual Abuse. Quote, "We are not people to him." That is the title of the article.
Wow.
I recommend everyone go to dailybeast.com and read it. You only have to pay $1 for the first month of subscription. It's a very good article that goes into excruciating detail about all of his allegations. I have chosen certain portions to read to you, Nick, to get your take. Do you think that the story is what these women say it is? Or do you think it is Max's version, which is basically that he was, in his words, shamed for being, in his words, a toxic partner at times and not knowing how to deal with it? He does the neurodivergent defense.
I'm just like, I didn't know how to treat women because I basically have autism.
Basically. We talked about with the screenwriting, it's the same copes. You're going to be shocked at how much of a hack he is and how little thought he puts into his copes and lies, in my opinion, lies. Okay. He always has the I was misquoted, mistaken, misunderstood defense, and I'm learning and I'm going to be better. Mm-hmm. So here are some quotes. And these are all taken. These are just 8 women on record. There's who knows how many more.
Usually serial abusers do have more women that don't come forward. This is just something that's happened, across after Me Too. This is a common thing.
Yes. And I want to get this out of the way up top. Again, to the Landis cronies who are like, but women lie, whatever. Well, if, why wouldn't you say something? It's not like, you could stay not. Most people don't want to have to go through the fucking struggle of getting out there, telling your story. Now he knows you're talking about him. He can still fuck with you. Other people can fuck with you. You're putting a target on your back, or at least you're exposing yourself to the potential of that if you come forward and accuse a celebrity of doing something mischievous sexually. Mm-hmm. I say mischievous like it's a little thing, but even as little as a mischievous thing, that can be daunting to just a normal person who doesn't have cachet in the entertainment industry, So words like torture come up quite a bit. Oh. Things not like, Saw, but people saying I was tortured by this person. People are accusing him in this article frequently of mental abuse, of a very hot and cold relationship dynamic where he is love bombing you, then he is ignoring you. Then he's love bombing you, then he's threatening to kill you. Then he's love bombing you, then he's actually, physically assaulting you. Then he's, in their words, raping you. Mm-hmm. This happens in all of the stories. These women, by the way, did not speak before the article came out. There are accounts from some of these women where they say, I've heard from other ex-girlfriends, whatever, but they're not talking about the other women in this article. That is important to note. Anna Akana wrote about Bright. She wrote, "This movie was written by a psychopath who sexually abused and assaults women, right? Cool." So people started saying, please spill the tea. Mm-hmm. Please tell us who these women are and what he did to them. Quote, a little less than a dozen, maybe 10 or so firsthand allegations of sexual misconduct in total on the record. And now I'm just going to be reading quotes from the women. "Max is intimidating and he's scary. He lords his power and money over people and intimidates them into friendship and forgiveness. I didn't realize that I had been raped consistently and deliberately by this man for 2 years until today." Now I want to pause to clarify something. Yeah. People will discredit that and go, you didn't realize you're being raped? Hear them out. They are not saying that he just, like in a movie, just raped them in an alley. And then they're like, you know what? Now I'm realizing that I can somehow ascend my career, as if they're doing that he raped me. No, what they're describing is the pattern I'm talking about, where he does whatever he needs to, basically, as they describe, to get you to cry and be scared because he likes having sex with you in what feels to the man as a rape situation, essentially. "I still believed he was a good person and that he was trying. Just by association, he seems like a better person." Basically, they describe that he has this big group of friends he calls the Color Society, which, as they describe, is basically his cult of personality. They all rally around him and they want to be in the film industry and go to these fun parties. And they mention that he drops $50,000 on these random parties where they'll do airsoft fights or Nerf gun fights in the park. And it's totally random and we're all young and we're living up, it's like me, him, her. It seems like me, him, her was his reality, essentially, of just kind of just, doing drugs and going to clubs and having a lot of casual sex and inviting women into this cult and doing this thing that a lot of accused and confirmed emotional abusers do, where they get you away from your friends and social circle. They say, here's your new family, and it's the one I control. And then, it's easy to coerce someone to stay around you because you can turn on and off their social life like a faucet. So here's where it gets heavy. Quote, he continued to violate my boundaries into even after our relationship. And if any of this still feels like blurred line scenario, let me reassure you, he did hold me down and raped me while I said no. Over and over and over.
God.
So a lot of the women are saying here, this is not a gray lines thing or blurred lines, whatever, gray area. This is a thing where women are describing that they are crying while he is raping them. There is a story here of taking a girl to Disneyland and frequently groping her, in her words, like just molesting her. Like, this wasn't a we're dating. This is a like first date, basically. And he's like, we're going on a trip and we're staying in the same room. And then they're in line at the park and he's like grabbing her and touching her and he's saying like, let's go back to the room and fuck. And being in the room and her asking him to stop and him continuing. It is hard to read when it gets into the details, and I don't know. I circled a lot of the worst details, and I don't even want to read them because it's just
you don't have to.
You can picture it, folks, and like I said, go read the article. It's pretty damning. So I had some monkey moments when I'm reading this article where I'm pointing like Julian. I'm going, oh my god. Max Landis talked about how he got hired to write this Pepe Le Pew movie.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and that they didn't make it. Shocker. Shocker, dude, just like Amazing Spider-Man.
Whoa,
there's a thing in here. I don't know how to summarize it, so I'm just going to read it to you.
Okay.
Multiple women who dated Landis described similar experiences of being relentlessly pursued and eventually dragged into his orbit, first as friends, then as something more. Quote, my initial impression of him was that he's trouble. And then they name the girl. Her romantic relationship with Landis lasted for 2 years. Like a previous girl mentioned, she recalled being relentlessly pursued by Max. Quote, he jokingly called me a paint cat in reference to the ill-fated feline who tries desperately to escape the clutches of Pepe Le Pew. And it seems like Max is doing what a lot of, bad serial killers or anybody doing something dangerous does, where they hide in plain sight and they start incorporating their tactics and their moves for their badness into their art. He wants to write the Pepe Le Pew movie. I remember seeing videos of him going on Screen Junkies and shit, talking about how you do a Pepe movie right, and it could be this great comedy, but then behind closed doors, he's with them, and he's like, I'm like Pepe, and you're like Paint Cat. Now take off your fucking panties, let me rape you right now. It's just it's like he has no game. He's like the biggest loser.
Yeah, he's like Patrick Bateman, where it's like everything he does, he's renting Body Double, he's going, and he's
a hack.
Yes.
He's a chud.
He can't even be a rapist, right?
No.
You have to live from better rapists.
He's Pepe Le Jew, dude. Writes itself. Quote, I was showered with affection, new friends, parties, and intense I love yous. I don't know why I can't read. Now, I want to say one other thing. People will criticize, like the term love bombing, for instance. There's like debate online of like love bombing is manipulation. Okay. Like, I mean, sometimes women want you to just buy a lot of stuff for them and take them in a lot of places. Sure. And sometimes men think that a woman wants that, so that's what they do. Now, in this case, I firmly believe that none of this was ever genuine and that this was just Max's routine. He had a thing that he discovered worked. I confuse this woman to the point where she doesn't know who she is anymore. Cut her off from her social circle completely. I flip out, literally accused, rape them, and then I make it into this thing where like I'm realizing what boundaries are, and I'm a little bit on the spectrum, and I have cyclothymia and I'm bipolar, but I'm learning how to respect, and like he's always moralizing. Again, it was so obvious before the allegations broke. He's always talking about like what men do. And I'm a male, how I jokingly go like, I'm a male feminist, guys. I've done that on this show. That comes from him because he actually genuinely does that. And somehow it worked.
He's not even like attractive enough. Like I said earlier, Patrick Bateman type to like go under the guise of like, do women just find him alluring because he's passionate? I mean, I've heard that before, that women do like passion. It must be what it is, because, we're just like, and I'm writing the script, and it's great. It's like Cheerios the movie. And I'm looking for a girl who can play the spoon. And it's just like, I mean, he's not this tortured genius. He's one of the biggest hacks in Hollywood, probably the biggest hack.
Oh, yeah.
Biggest Nepo baby. And for some reason, all these girls just cannot wait to, like, suck his dick.
I think that possibly a little bit of it is like, whether it's conscious or unconscious, just this is a guy with money and influence, and he comes off charismatic, and I'm young, and I'm also in LA where nobody's a real person, and you're living in a weird psycho me, him, her, like that is just, how people are in that city from the time that I've been there. Like it's a weird, I don't like it.
I hate Los Angeles.
It's a creepy feeling being in that town. It is just scummy and bizarre. So now you have this guy who's everyone loves, the colors, and it seems like too good to be true. And, maybe you think, hey, I could be wifey to this guy. He loves me. Oh my God, he spent all this money taking me, just like a me, him, her. We went out to Malibu and, did all this stuff. And then he won't call me. What did I do? And I think it's probably easy to manipulate women if you have a lot of money, because if you're just a hyperverbal fucking spazoid like he is, like that probably kind of, it's like Charlie Brown's parents or whatever, like to a young, impressionable female, that stuff is not a red flag. Cause you're like, oh, but look all the people around it,
Yeah.
And then as detailed in this article, all of them slowly realize, oh, those stories, they mention that he talks about previous girlfriends, that he'll constantly compare the current girl to the last girl and go, oh yeah, I gave her like an eating disorder because I would constantly talk about how she was like too fat. And these are women with like a 20 BMI. Mm-hmm. And then they go, and now I'm realizing, oh, that wasn't just the last girl. I'm the girl, and that he was always talking about and seemed to sell that he believed it, that he learned from how he was toxic in the past. And now he's different, just like he's doing to this day. Although he doesn't really address the stuff very much now. And I want to mention, I tried to get his comment on the rape allegation. He is an accused rapist. And I couldn't remember ever seeing something where he literally denied the rape. Now, he's commented on it. He's talked about his shaming, as he puts it. It's all a PR spin. He won't come out and say they're all lying about me, but he'll say everything he can that is implying that without actually denying it. And it's interesting. It's like, all right, Max, I want to do an experiment here, like the Woody Allen episode. Nick, imagine, whether you're famous or not, just imagine that there is like stories circulating that are getting a lot of traction that are saying your name, and they're saying this guy is a rapist. Of all the ways you could respond, would you forget to explicitly state, I did not rape anybody, if you didn't do it?
No, that would be sentence number one. It'd be like, hey guys, I'm just letting you know I did not rape anyone ever.
You probably wouldn't have to hunt to find a statement from Nick Hudson saying, I deny the rape.
Yeah.
Now, here's the interesting thing. I can't find anything where Max Landis just came out and said it. Not that in and of itself is an admission, but when someone has a guilty conscience, you'll notice a pattern where they'll say a lot of things to imply a like complete rebuttal of the accusation without actually getting explicit about it, because then it could be argued. And it's like, you can kind of have it both ways. You can kind of pretend you've already gotten over it. He does this. He made a video addressing the allegations called Addressing the Allegations, again. And I'm like, that's a sneaky trick you just did, because you didn't really address them. You actually went radio silent for a long time. And then you, quote unquote, address them by being like, I was shamed. I was toxic at times. And it's like, well, you're accused of rape. You're not accused of being a bad boyfriend. You're accused of rape. If I were accused of rape, you wouldn't have to hunt to find a statement where I say, by the way, I didn't rape these women. I had to hunt. And I reached out to him and I said, Max, have you ever unequivocally denounced the rape allegation? Have you ever actually said explicit terms, no, I did not have sex with these women while they were telling me stop, telling me no, crying, etc.? I asked him this question. He didn't answer it. He did see the question because he hid the comment immediately. I then made a story where I said, at Max Landis, have you denied the allegation? He saw the story. I screenshotted it. I have it saved. The story disappeared from our account. I don't know, within about a half hour.
Oh my God.
Now, I can't prove that he did it or that someone who could see times he's mentioned, because I added him at Up to My Knees 1985. Feel free to ask him the same question. Yeah. Don't harass. We're not advocating harassment, but this is a free country. You can ask him. If you're curious about the rape allegation, go ahead and ask him. He is an accused rapist. He saw the story. Weirdly, the story disappeared. And at that point, I felt a little scared and I went, okay, I'm not going to poke the bear more before we sit down and talk about it.
Yes.
Because I went, if that was, now again, I'm not saying he did anything. It's possible that a fan reported, it's possible that maybe he's already had a lot of these happen on Instagram. So whatever. I didn't want to risk getting our account nuked. So I just didn't, I was like, okay, fine, fine. I relent. But I tried to ask him. He saw the question. He ignored it, which is fine. You can ignore it. But I'll ask a second question, Nick. If somebody came to you and said, hey, Nick, did you ever deny the rape? Would you just not answer the question? Or would you say, yes, and here it is?
Yeah, I'd be like, yeah, I did deny this. I wouldn't just be like, I gotta go get my car. I'm late. Look at my watch. Yeah, I gotta not rape.
just post a picture of the sunset, which he did about 2 hours later. So he saw this question, went on with his life, and then just like took him, life is great, LA, whatever. Like, no, you'd probably be like, yes, I did, and here's where, and let me do it now for you.
I wonder, honestly, how much he gets asked about this, because I looked through some of the recent posts on his Instagram, and there are some, because what happened was, let's say there were 3 comments, including Caleb's, on his post. When I looked at it from my personal account, I saw that it said 3 comments, but when I clicked on it, there were only 2 that I could see.
Yes.
And this is, I believe, what it looks like when somebody hides your comments.
Yes.
Because you can hide the comment from appearing on the post, and other people can't see it, which is what I believe he would have done if he did this.
Yes.
I looked at a lot of the other posts, and there were some that had, like, let's say 9 comments, but I could only see like 6. There were some that only had like 1 or 2. He's doing shit numbers, by the way, for somebody that had a career. It's very funny, the fall off, where it's just like the comments that he does get is like real friend who doesn't care about the allegations. Or just like one of those comments that just does like a heart or something, where it's like, that's like somebody reacting, basically. Yeah.
When are we getting the next episode of your pod? Just people who want to be his friend.
Yes. Yeah, who want to network. So I'm wondering, does he just deal with this so much that he's just like, another guy who realized that I allegedly raped all those chicks.
He did allegedly rape all those chicks.
So
he is accused of rape.
He is
I love saying that. It's true.
Yeah.
We can say it. He's an accused rapist, Max Landis. Let's get that trending.
Accused rapist, Max, ARML.
No, don't hyphenate it. We need to say the fucking words, not you. America, get used to it. Accused rapist Max Landis. Go on.
And if you need to shorten it, you could do the last 3 words too. If it doesn't fit, if you have like a word length or something, you probably shouldn't do that, but word count.
Yeah, he's an accused rapist. He probably does get a fair amount of, people who are wanting to fuck with him or just make him feel uncomfortable asking him about it. But it is a completely valid question. He is an accused rapist, and I believe the women, and I'm allowed to say that too. Max, guess what? None of your allegations shock me. They're shocking things to read because you go, wow, that's terrible. I can picture you doing all of these things. You ever heard of a rap beef, Nick?
Yeah.
You know how rappers have the egos of like teenage girls, where if one of them says something that is vaguely dissing, whatever, like a minor criticism of another, it's like, all right, fuck you for life. And now we're going to make songs calling each other pedophiles and domestic abusers and all that shit. There was a very famous rap beef like 2 years ago between Drake and Kendrick Lamar. And I've seen a lot of people who are defenders of Drake saying it's not fair how he was treated in this. Kendrick Lamar called him a pedophile. The whole world ran with it. But when Drake called Kendrick Lamar a domestic abuser, people went, there's no way. Here's the thing. The reason why everyone ran with the Drake narrative and went, I don't believe it about the Kendrick one, is because people could believe that Drake was, at the very least, messing around with girls too young.
Millie Bobby Brown,
if not children. Yes, she was. Yeah, I think he did like a candlelit dinner for her on her 18th birthday.
Yeah, he was like texting her beforehand. He's just like, I'm just giving her like insider knowledge of the industry, how to be safe. And it's like, well, that's what groomers say.
Yes, and I want to defend Drake a little bit on that. Millie Bobby Brown has said nothing happened. Like, we're just,
sure,
friends.
I'll believe her. But it is weird behavior to say that.
Weird. Yes. Yeah. Again, here's the thing. Even if Drake hasn't done anything that Kendrick accused him of, people said, yeah, I can see it. I can picture it. It tracks. That's what a lot of people, the conclusion they came to. When Drake said that Kendrick Lamar that his kids weren't really his kids and that he's beating his wife, people went, I don't believe that. I can't see it, you know? So it's not necessarily that one of them is being treated unfairly just because, it's that it makes sense. You say, everything I can see, the behavior I see on display here, I can totally picture this person doing these actions. They seem like the type. Max Landis 100% seems like the type of person who threatens crazy violence to women to make them cry and feel scared and then says, I'm getting better, and then has like aggressive sex with them while they're crying. I can picture it. He seems like the type.
Yes, and I want to put this out to like all the young men out there. You should try to live your life in a way that people aren't looking at you, and if you have an allegation going, yeah, I could see that you could be a rapist.
Yes.
If somebody says that to you, you need to have a deep introspective look into your life and say, what is my behavior? Like, what patterns are people seeing that they just completely vilify me immediately? And
Max deflected, before all of the allegations were public, Max deflected all of the internet criticism that he got and the shit that he got from people for years by always being this guy who was talking about growth, mental health, being aware of, he talked about like, oh, I used to be an asshole. I used to not be able to hold on to friends. And it's like, if one person thinks they're crazy, if one person thinks everyone else is just crazy and everyone else is saying that one person is crazy, it's going to be that other person. It's going to be that one who's really, and it's like, yeah. But you are that guy.
It goes over his own head.
Like, do you not realize, like, who do you think you're fooling? Yeah. He's just like, you know what? I'll just talk about how other people are all the types of things I am. I'm not even talking about the sexual, again, not even getting to that. He's like, I'll just literally project everything that's bad about me onto these other crazy people who haven't had these realizations. And then no one will ever suspect it's me. And it's like, that's what like actual children do. And they learn at age 7 that you kind of have to take ownership of your actions at a certain point, and that you can't always be pointing the finger that everybody else was just persecuting you for no reason. And I'm not making a Jewish joke there. It's just the truth. It's absolutely infuriating. Can I tell you some more of the rape allegations of Max Landis? Let's talk about the accused rape. There's stuff in this article that, he had a rape allegation going back to when he was in college with someone that him and Brad knew. And somehow this story never got out. But the story goes that while they were at Miami State or whatever it was, that Max was having sex with this woman who was like drunk to the point of like, I'm falling asleep, basically. And that this other girl who was more sober was like, hey, get out of here. And that, as she tells it, he starts crying and then like runs out. He's like, I'm sorry. Mirroring a certain story Eddie Murphy told about his father. When confronted, starts crying, running out of the room. That is also kind of a recurring theme. Anyway, I'm kind of talking about too many things at once. This is really riling me up, and I can't get through all these notes I have here because this is just too angering. I hate people like this. I also knew a guy, not that I'm implying anything sexual about this guy, but I knew a guy who was very much acted like Max Landis in high school, I was just like, this guy fucking sucks. He's so annoying and pick me. This is before pick me was a thing, but he just was that guy. And again, everyone else around me was like, well, yeah, but like, we basically I have to be kind of vague so I don't get sued. But he still gets paid to do screenwriting work. Yeah. There was that story you told me about where he got paid to do the G.I. Joe thing. Yes. And then they were like, oh, this is dog shit, written by Max Landis. Who knew? We're not going to take it. Yeah. He's still making money in this industry. He didn't really face, like, his consequences were that his agent dropped him. That's nothing. Big whoop. You're accused credibly of raping at least 8 people. Or, sexually going too far with at least 8 and accused of raping at least a few of them. So was Zoe Quinn with Ryan, was it?
The one who killed himself? Yeah. Alex Holoka.
Alex. Yeah. So imagine if there were like 8 to 10 Alexes, 8 to 10 people who said, I've had personal experience. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like going off of just a few, you can sometimes say, well, with my own brain, with what I can see about that person, what I perceive, just seeing them, and now what I'm noticing, the threads and these other people's stories, imagine it, like multiply that by 3 or 4. That's this story. It's crazy that nothing legally ever happened. I hope it's not too late. Please, somebody file some charges. Yes. Put your money where your mouth is. This guy, if this is true, he got off way too easy. And you need to make an example legally within the system of this accused rapist if it's all true.
Mm-hmm.
I can technically say everything I just said the way I said it.
Sure.
Yeah.
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 I don't think we've said anything we explicitly need to censor out besides the N-word.
I don't think so. It's very hard because I want to just say, like, drop $1 million on this. I want to say put him under the jail. But if anyone's going to report to YouTube and try to get it, you know.
Can you believe what they're saying?
If anyone's going to pull that shit, it's either Brett Gelman or Max. And with Brett, it's easy because it's like, well, we're just making fun of your podcast. Whereas here, it's like, you're accused of rape.
We have really pissed off.
We really have.
We really have.
Which means you're doing your job.
We are doing our job. We are doing God's work here.
I wish he tried to rape me because then I'd be justified in defending myself. I wish I was... Max, I'll box you.
Yes.
I'll box you. I put the challenge to you, Max Landis. I'm calling you out. I will box you. You can do all the training. You can take all the steroids, any trickery you want to do, Hollywood tricks. I don't care. I will meet you in the ring, and however the cards land, I want to box you, Max. And it's like Game of Thrones, where if that guy lost, then so-and-so's queen. And if the other guy lost, then he's put to death. If I win the boxing, you go to jail for rape. If you win, then you can decide what we cover on our next episode.
You get to choose an episode, yeah.
But if I win, you're in jail for rape. Because I think you did it. And I think I could beat you in a boxing match because you're a lanky
And while we're at it, I want to call out Zoe Quinn. Fight me in the ring. MMA, you can do elbows, knees.
Yeah. We're having separate fights in the same ring, and we're trying not to trip up each other.
You're the title card fight, and I'm the one in the beginning when everybody's still finding their seats.
My right arm is tied to your left arm, you know? So we can't, like your hand is where my shoulder is, my hand is on your shoulder, but tied there. Same with them. Mm-hmm. So we have to work as a team to box the other two.
So this is like Hell in a Cell, tag.
Yes.
Okay.
Although she's a woman, so there needs to be a handicap. Maybe she gets a brick in her boxing glove or something.
She can have a gun.
We still win. It's no contest.
I'm beating her to death with the fucking the gun she has and turn it on.
She misses it. She immediately unloads the clip. She does that thing where the guy shot himself accidentally.
Yes. Yeah. So Zoe Quinn, if you agree to that, we will do this. We can do a tag team match. I just break a chair over Zoe Quinn's back and I'm stomping her head.
You ain't going nowhere.
I've got you for 3 minutes, Zoe.
Oh, God. I'm so mad that that's never going to happen because I really wish it would. I'm getting lost in the fantasy.
We've gone like when Uwe Boll boxed his critics.
Yeah.
That was a thing where it's just put your money where your mouth is. And it's it was kind of in fun of hey, we're just going to have an event. Genuinely, I want this to happen so that I have an excuse to
God damn it. I will make a YouTube video. I'll post it on my own profile. I'll make a video challenging him. I'll put all the hashtags, tags. Mm-hmm. He'll see it. Yeah. And we'll see if he responds. Or is he too pussy?
Yeah. And this is a thing, because, a lot of people who are, actual boxers or stuff say, I get challenged, 100 times a day. I can't, go through every challenge because that would just be too much. There's no way anybody else has ever challenged Max Landis to a boxing competition.
Yes. What are the odds?
Yeah. So
what's he going to do?
Yeah. So you are the first person who has ever engaged with him.
Box me.
Yeah.
You don't have to pay. I'll set it up.
Yeah.
You come to me, though. You fly to me because you have more money than I do. Yeah. But I'll host it. I'll make sure it's filmed, live streamed. You can fill the audience with your cronies. I don't care, Max. I just want to have a legal reason to beat the fuck out of you. I would feel so good.
We're done debating in the marketplace of ideas. It's time to fight in the ring.
That's right. You had your chance. You didn't use your words when you needed it. You avoided it like a certain type of person. Mm-hmm. Can't say more. You're going to pay.
Mm-hmm. And it's
if you accept the challenge, that is.
And this is going to be harder than what you're used to, Max, because Caleb is going to be awake and he's a man.
I'm not your usual.
Yeah, so
the people you're used to fighting.
Your training is for naught, Max.
That's true. He gets hard when women cry. Here's another quote. He turned around and put his hands around my throat and got very close to my face and said, "I will fucking kill you." Do you understand what I'm saying? I will fucking kill you. When Baker began to cry, Landis looked at her, quote, expressionless. He said that he had shown this list. Oh, yeah, he's like Dennis. According to these women, he has a list of women that he's fucked.
Oh, gross.
And they're ranked in order of hotness. And there's a part in this article There's a part in this article where it says that he didn't even list them like by name. He just wrote like their race and when it happened. So say like Chinese, August 2020, choked her, super raped, whatever. Not really, but
And Max, how much? I bet there's not a single woman of color on that. There are no black women on there.
I believe we live in a white patriarchy. Yeah. Guys, search Max Landis N-word video and find the video of him explaining how he thought of a dynamite line, which is to have a black guy say in a movie. And he thinks he's like brilliant.
Guys,
again, it's so cool.
Search on YouTube Max Landis getting degloved in my basement. Because that will happen.
When you pull off his boxing gloves.
When I pull off his boxing gloves too fast.
Yeah. When you put them on, they're gloved. When you take them off, degloved. That's all it means. Yeah. Anyway, Max's story, the ending is not written yet, but hopefully we don't have to suffer any more movies that he works on. There is one last produced credit on his thing called Shadow in the Cloud, which is about a woman in a plane. And his name was taken off of it. It was apparently rewritten because they were like, oh shit, Max Landis, oh, bad PR.
All the rape don't like.
Yep. He did the G.I. Joe thing. Didn't work out. Oh, one other thing. I remember, and you can find the script online, it's called Higher. He talked about these ideas for movies. He has this movie called Deeper. He wrote a trilogy, Deeper, Higher, and Further. Wow. Deeper is a movie about this guy who goes in a thing down in the ocean. Higher is about a guy who goes in a spaceship that flies really high. And Further is about a train that's on a train track.
Wow.
And Deeper was in like pre-production for a long time with Tom Cruise and Ana de Armas.
Okay, I've heard about this one, actually.
Yeah, and I don't know if it's going to be made anymore. We'll see. Higher, the concept is that there's this woman who is topless, who's crazy, and so her, like in the movie, her boobs are just out all the time, like Species or whatever.
Oh, okay.
There's this thing in the article where they talk about this short film they worked on that Max was like involved with, where there were going to be nude women, and but you weren't going to see them from the front, so they had to not have like a bra on, but they didn't have to necessarily expose themselves to the whole crew, so they wanted those little stickers you can put on your nipples.
Yeah, either stickers or pasties, basically, these things that cover your areolae.
Yes, that's what they say in the articles, pasties. And that they didn't have anything like that, so they ended up using duct tape. And the woman describing the story is like, I got the impression that Max, because apparently he was acted disappointed or something when they did that. She's like, I got the impression that the whole thing was just an excuse to have nude women around. And it's like, yeah,
of course,
that's what it sounds like. His idea for Higher seems like the same thing, where it's like, I'm writing a woman who's like schizophrenic who invented a spaceship to fight aliens or whatever, but she also is also topless, but then I can be on set and stand around when they're filming the scene, It just seems, I'm connecting a lot of dots reading this article, where I'm like, wow, yeah. Everything I'm reading, I'm going, I can see that. So that's my rant on Max Landis. If you didn't get the memo, I have complete contempt for him. I hate everything about who he is and what he does. I really hope that there is some form of justice that ever comes of the situation if the allegations are true. They seem true to me. Again, read the article and make your own decision. Don't do what Max Play wants you to do, where you watch his video where he calls it shaming and then go, yeah, you're right. Shame culture is bad. And Louis C.K. was canceled too soon. So now I'm going to watch Max Landis' channel. No, you shouldn't do that. Don't watch his stuff. Don't give him any money. Read the article, pay for the article, read the whole thing, ask him about the allegations, ask him about the rape. It is not harassment to ask him if he raped women. He is an accused rapist, a credibly accused rapist. It's not out of bounds. You might think it's out of bounds. It's really not.
Yeah, I agree with you. And I just want to say, Caleb and I do have a history of being journalists and talking about news and information that people should know. So this isn't a one-off harassment campaign.
No.
We've talked about Zoe Quinn too. We do news segments all the time. We are just reporting the news, and we are journalists asking questions. So this falls completely within First Amendment rights to do anything.
Yes.
Normally I wouldn't go out of the way and say shit like this because I find it corny, but he does come from a very litigious tribe of people.
It's okay. That might undermine it a little bit. It is worth saying, though. I agree. I hate clarifying that kind of stuff where it feels like it just should be so obvious. Yeah. But it is worth clarifying because if anyone's going to try to do some fuckery to, get us in trouble for bringing up the truth, or at least being in pursuit of the truth. That's the thing. Max, defend yourself.
Yes.
But you can't play foul like we didn't give you the opportunity. We asked you for your statement on the rape that you're accused of.
Mm-hmm. The accused rape. But it was rape. But accused.
Accused.
All right, Max,
Go
look
to
my dick.
patreon.com. Max, subscribe at patreon.com/YourOlderBrothers, and we'll talk kindly about you there behind the paywall. How about that?
Mhm.
Actually, I'm going to take all that back because then he could pay $5. Like, they didn't say anything. See, lawyer? Whatever.
Yeah.
I'm not going to give you any outs here. I don't trust you. You're a slime ball. And I want to give an apology. Max, you have a sister.
Mhm.
That poor woman.
Oh, poor girl.
Can you imagine that he's your brother and that John Landis is your father? I'm so sorry. I hope you're... What if she's like a Lena Dunham type? What if she's terrible too? We don't know. We don't know.
Oh.
If you're normal, I feel bad for you. God, if these people reproduce... Fuck. Now it's getting too depressing. All right, that's it for the episode, guys. I can't keep thinking. This is the last time I'm ever going to talk about Max Landis. I can't do this. This was very draining, like preparing this episode. And you know, I watched a lot of stuff to refresh my memory. I went through a deeper research process than I have for anything else.
Yeah.
And I think 20 minutes into trying to talk about it, I already like went monkey mode and just lost my mind.
Now you know why I had to be drunk to talk about Zoe Quinn.
Oh, God, I should have drank beers before this. Actually, I'm glad I didn't because I was conscious to make sure to be very, you know, sticking to the narrative, making sure to use the right words. It's alleged. The rape is alleged.
Yeah, guys, get it trending. Alleged rapist Max Landis.